golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhalgh and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. I knew we could not put off getting life insurance. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050 or go to SelectQuote.com now. That's 1-800-452-5050. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates are bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940 or online, lundmortgage.com.
It's the final days to shop Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot to get your kitchen clicking. Top brand appliances from Frigidaire, like a new refrigerator with sealed crisper drawers to keep your produce fresher longer. Or a dishwasher with its unique blade spray arm for better water coverage that reaches every corner. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away, too. Final days to save up to $500 on select Frigidaire kitchen appliances during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. It's May 3rd.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time for
showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room after a 2-hour rehearsal, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. All right, so a lot has happened over the weekend.
Yes,
many things have happened.
Yeah, yes, it has. Yes, it has. And I would tell everybody in the fourth dimension, once again, for the 40th straight year, I've not been drafted by the NFL. I'm still an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, so for those of you who didn't know, Randy actually went to a secluded place up in the woods, and he had his family with him, and they had cameras, and he had the phone in his lap the entire time of the draft.
That's
all
correct.
was it 5 or 7 rounds?
7 rounds, I believe. Yeah, at least.
So the entire time, the damn phone didn't ring once.
Not once. Not one time.
It's a travesty. It's not right.
And I just like to say I'm very disappointed. It's starting to get very expensive to have a camera crew there. You have the satellite uplink for all the NFL, the ESPN, and all that business. It's getting kind of old.
Better luck next year, Randy. Don't give up. Remember what happened with that Mazzo guy? He finally got his first Major League Baseball hit the other day.
Yeah.
And in his head, don't stop believing. It's always that's always in his cranium.
Yeah.
So well, anyways, good to have you back, Randy. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We are going to do the postmortem on our drafts, and there's a bunch of stuff that's just happening as we speak in the NFL. So plenty of that to look forward to. We got to talk about the overreaction of probably the entirety of the internet plus Donnie about the Phoenix Suns.
Oh yeah.
And we got baseball to talk about too. But before that, just remember, it is May. And as you noticed off air, Randy,
Yeah.
I have a new car on my monthly car
You
calendar.
do? Yes. I believe that's the 59 Chevrolet Impala.
Yes, you are correct. That is a 59 Chevy Impala.
Yeah, very
And,
nice.
and listen, if you like a giant aircraft carrier sized vehicle, you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
go wrong with an Impala if any year.
You
know?
could land an F-18 on the trunk of that car. That's how big that
Absolutely.
is. Yeah,
And take off at the same time.
Absolutely.
You have cross traffic. There'd be
Yeah.
no problem.
no problem at all.
Boomer Sooner says pineapple Jeffco. Is there a problem with my feed?
No.
Mm-mm.
I
Maybe
haven't
it's a
heard
problem with
anything.
your feed, Boomer Sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, somebody will tell us if there's a problem, I'm sure. Anyway, so it is May 1st. Don't forget to pay your rent or mortgage or bookie
Or lease.
loan shark.
Yeah.
It's time to make your monthly payments, people. And listen, there's all sorts of great things happening in the month of May. You got the NBA and NHL playoffs all month. Kentucky Derby is this Saturday. PGA Championship May 18th. French Open starts on the 22nd, and the Indy 500 is May 28th. Randy.
Not to mention the Monaco Grand Prix and the Coca-Cola 600 live from Charlotte, North Carolina.
I believe we have those races. Also, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that comes out Friday.
No kidding.
Is that going to be good? Because my wife, that's the one that she likes. She's like, well, if we're going to watch anything, it's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy. In my head, I'm just like, thank God she didn't watch the Christmas special. That was horrible. And but no, the movie comes out Friday. So
I don't know. The first one was okay. I think the first one was the best one. Number 2 was okay. I don't know if number 3 is going to be a hit or not. I'll be honest with you.
The live action driving everybody at Fox News crazy remake of The Little Mermaid that comes out at the end of May. Everybody's angry about that, and I'll let you figure out why. And then Fast X. They're supposed to be the last Fast and Furious movie, but I guess there's
3 movies ago.
Yeah, right. But there's going to be another one. They say it's actually a 2-parter.
Yeah.
So, and I saw. Of course, if you were watching basketball this weekend, then you saw the same preview. I thought that Vin Diesel was running for office. That looked like a campaign ad at first. Family's important. Like, man, I'm not interested in this movie in the least. And I love cars. Okay, have you guys seen the Fast and the Furiously Bald? Have you seen that?
I saw one. I have not followed the series.
I haven't either, and as it turns out, I watch every odd numbered one at this point just because
on purpose.
Well, yeah, it's just a nice let's get drunk and watch the shenanigans in this movie.
Well,
but the earlier movies were actually about cars.
So
there
if
are
I
cars
watch
in
the
this
early
movie.
ones, I can see a lot of cool cars.
Am I mistaken, or is Aquaman is he in this this
He
one?
is, yeah. Jason Momoa is in the
So and then there's going to be submarines, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, whatever the case, I guess if it's worth watching for the cars, I'll go back. But if it's a bunch of CGI and ridiculous stunts that no way could ever happen, that'll piss me off. I don't want to waste my time.
The first few were more about street racing, and then they turned into giant blockbuster movies where the governments of the world are involved and stuff that doesn't make any sense. That these people are the people that are always saving the world from some kind of danger. At one point, a car is in space. Things that cannot happen just happen.
The only thing I need them to do is save the world from Vin Diesel's acting. That's the only thing that I feel like is really necessary. But outside of that,
I like the way he says that you don't turn your back on family. It's the only thing he says in the movie.
It's the dumbest thing. Of course, some family you need to turn your back on. Mother's Day, don't forget that's on the 14th, Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Hey, we get Memorial Day off. That's
Do
on
we?
the 29th. Yeah,
Okay.
we get that day off.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people like Star Wars, May the 4th be with you. That's where you find all the virgins. It just would be too easy to round them up on in May, on
Just
May 4th.
Find a theater near you. They're probably playing all of the Star Wars.
Or you just watch the social media. If I were going to go after and round up all the
yeah.
virgins on the planet, because we needed to give one to a volcano,
Uh-huh.
you just watch for the May the 4th be with you posts start popping up. and you find out where they live and you gather them up. You might get a few that aren't virgins. I'm not saying every Star Wars fan is.
Well.
But if you're posting May the 4th be with you, I would say 85% of those virgins. You just grab those guys, throw them in the volcano. One of them at least will be a virgin, and you've saved the day.
I feel like that's maybe that number's a little low.
I'm trying to be nice.
Okay.
I want somebody go. I had this girlfriend from Canada. You don't know her. She went to a different school. I don't want to embarrass the poor guy. So, anyways, that is May.
Why not?
in a
He's already
nutshell.
going in a volcano.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't feel bad about it before it happens. Listen, he's gonna die. There's no reason to humiliate him. It's for the greater good, but I'm not trying to be a jerk here. All right. Anyway, so La Furia Roja, are you putting hydraulics on the Impala? I do not have an Impala. I have a picture of an Impala behind me on the wall. Although I would not mind having a 67 Impala. That is a kind of car I might have some fun remodeling and doing. But seriously, a lot of the Impalas in the 60s, those are my style. I don't need these giant fins, you know what I'm saying, from the 50s.
Aerodynamic. That's aerodynamic right there.
There's nothing aerodynamic about a landmass. You know,
well,
you could put some fins on it like it's a plane, but let's face it, that thing is just it's a national monument if it breaks down.
Well, that is true.
It ain't going nowhere. La Furia Roja says, "I will be posting. May the 4th be with you." I prove my point. I rest my case. Jiggy says, who cares? Anthony Richardson is a cult. You are correct, sir. But we knew that like last Thursday. So, and I'm happy about it. I'm glad you're happy about it too, Jiggy. Mr. Wilbur says, I like the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks. I wonder if this is the third one is going to have a good soundtrack.
Now the soundtracks are the soundtracks are great. Yeah. Don't get me wrong here. The music is wonderful.
Yeah, they've yet to mess one up, I think. I don't think they've messed one up yet.
You can buy any one of the Galaxy soundtracks and just be happy with it. Yeah.
La Furia Roja, thank you. Last Optimist says, I worked with a guy who in his wedding was dressed up as Han Solo and his bride was dressed up as Princess Leia.
Oh, no.
I think it would have been better if it's Han Solo and Jar Jar Binks. That would have been better.
Wow.
Jiggy says, Colts with another super athletic draft class. I love it. You know, I'm kind of happy with the entirety of the draft. I don't think they, hit home runs on each and every one of them. But then again, in Chris Ballard, we trust because that guy knows how to draft. This might be the first real quarterback he has drafted, but even this is a fixer-upper. So we're going to find out, Jiggy. And it'll take 2 years whether Anthony Richardson was a bust or or he was just a miracle. We'll find out. She said, Bill says, hey, not all Star Wars fans are virgins, but all virgins are Star Wars fans. That is correct math, she said, Bill. You are correct. Let's see. CK says, good afternoon, fellas. Ranty, beer me. Since DeAndre Ayton is virgin from giving max effort, can we throw him in the volcano? I guess we're just gonna have to accept DeAndre Ayton for what he is. I was trying because every time I think about it, I hear Keon's voice in the back of my head saying, "Now, come on!" But I still feel like he could give just that little extra something, that little extra killer instinct. I know the stats are good. I know his play is good, but I feel like we're not getting everything, and we're paying him like we should be getting everything. And so I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on DeAndre Ayton right now? I mean, we got a lot of stuff that we got to get to before we go too deep into this, but let's go ahead and cover this right now, Keon.
Yeah, look, it's frustrating. I understand why the fan base is frustrated with DeAndre Ayton. It seems like the motor isn't always going, and for a guy with the athletic tools and physical gifts that he has,
and money,
you just wonder why that's not necessarily happening. And the thing that just really kills you about it is he shows flashes of it from time to time. And I can't tell you why it doesn't always show up from the mentality standpoint. But the fact of the matter is people really need big guys in this league. That's just a fact. We need big men, and quality big men are hard to find. And whether you like it or not, DeAndre Ayton's one of them. He's not in the tier 1 group of guys. He's not Embiid or Jokic. Who could you have had?
Jokic.
But everybody could have.
Draft, no.
He was a second rounder.
That draft You know why people skipped on him is because they weren't sure he was coming to America. He wasn't completely committed. And I remember back then, this is when you weren't here, I was saying, maybe you roll the dice on Jokic. I mean, I understood going DeAndre Ayton, but I was even then saying, I bet he shows up. I bet and he did show up. The Suns should have grabbed Jokic, and that was a conversation between the two of them.
To me, that's not an either or thing, though. Jokic went in the second.
You weren't here in Phoenix listening.
I understand. Hold on, what I'm saying is Jokic went in the second. The Suns could have drafted both of them. That was not a Jokic one. Jokic was way in the second round. Almost nobody knew that he was going to be this good.
Remember, the Suns had the first pick. And by time that they got back round to the second round, they had the last pick in the second round. I don't think that the Suns could have had him if he went in the second round.
If you really thought that there was something there with Jokic,
Randy, you remember these conversations?
You could take that second. You could.
The audience was nuts for Jokic.
You could package it and move up, but you wouldn't have taken Jokic with that pick then because clearly nobody knew for sure that A, Jokic was going to be this guy, and B, like you said, that he was even coming if he was. I'm telling you.
Said, you weren't here for the conversations. Everybody on this text line was screaming Jokic.
All right.
And I said, guys, you're just going to have to let the Suns do the easy thing. If it weren't for the fact he had not said, hey, I'm not sure if we're going to do this. Wait a second. Hold on. Stand by.
Yeah.
No, you're right, George. I am. Okay. Thank God for this. He says, you're confusing Jokic with Doncic.
Yeah, Doncic was at the top of that draft.
Yeah. Was Luka the one who wasn't sure he's coming?
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, but
the people. Well, we could have had Luka.
Yeah,
you could have had Luka, but where's Luka?
Where's
Luka?
He's not on the Suns, so that doesn't matter. I mean, if he'd been on our team, maybe something different.
Luka's a guy that I worry about.
He's got more of a killer instinct than Ayton.
I
but
feel
he's hard to play with others. So, like, who do you play him with?
I feel like everybody looks at DeAndre Ayton, and I am guilty of this too. And you see this guy 7 feet tall. You see him as a center, and you automatically think this guy is a meat eater. He's going to go in there and hunt, and he's going to get the ball, and he's never been that kind of a player, though. If you look back on his career at U of A, he was not that kind of player. As a matter of fact, I don't think that he was the top leading rebounder in the Pac-12. I think the guy is he's a finesse player. He's happier doing a hook shot or a jump shot. Rather than going in and hunting. Hurt. Well, that might be the truth. I don't know. But the guy is just he's not a meat eater. He's not a Tyrannosaurus Rex that's going to go in and destroy and tear all the trees down. And
if he were, he'd be in that same category with Jokic and Embiid.
Let me give you a comparison. I am not a corny kind of DJ. You give me comparable DeAndre Ayton money. You give me the max contract. And guess who is the corniest sumbitch on the planet? This guy. And if you're giving DeAndre Ayton what you would consider a max contract right there, or close to it, or if you want more, then by God, you got to come and be the corny guy. DeAndre, you got to be the aggressive. I'm taking the matters into my own hands, especially under that basket. You want to take a look at all the rebounds from this first game between the Nuggets and the Suns. You're going to start going, huh.
Remember
why aren't we doing better?
Remember on draft night when we took DeAndre Ayton 1 overall, and remember the text from Joel Embiid. And people on the TV were saying this guy reminds me of Joel Embiid, and we all thought, wow, this is cool. And remember the text from Joel Embiid?
He's like, don't compare me to that guy
because I play defense.
Yep.
And so even then, the league knew who DeAndre Ayton was.
Yeah.
And it's time for Arizona fans to realize DeAndre Ayton is not one of those hunters. He's not a hunter, man.
I remember on the whole build up to the draft, I was like, reading all the mock drafts and stuff. And one of the stuff that always came up about Ayton, even back then, was he's got the physical tools, he's got the size, he's got everything you're looking for. He can play defense at a high level when engaged. Is the motor going to be there? And it just, I was one of the guys that was like, hey, if you get him in the right coach, get him the right people to work with, someone can bring that out of him. But it hasn't come out, and I'm not expecting it anymore. Like, I'm just not going to sit there and go, yeah, DeAndre Ayton's going to be the guy that's going to be all over the place. He knows what he is. He plays like that, and you kind of have to coach with it.
Fish Tank says, are you sure you're not thinking of Luka? Yeah, I was. I'm sorry, guys. I was totally thinking of Luka. Big George says, I think the moral of the story here is there's way too many funny looking white guys in the NBA from the Eastern European there with oddly similar names.
Don't say that around Jokic. Because I'm pretty sure in the offseason he's a hitman. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
you think he works in the Russian mob?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
If he isn't, his two brothers that will absolutely tear you up are. Those guys are scary.
Those guys they're quote unquote security. That's what they are.
I'm not even going to mess with Luka or the other guy. Years ago, I've noticed something that the NBA has each team has minimum one goofy looking white guy on their team. Sometimes they can play, sometimes they really can't. But every team, I challenge you to show me one that doesn't, has a goofy looking white guy, and sometimes two. And when you see two, you're like, what am I seeing? But generally the goofy looking white guy kind of can play, but he's kind of inconsistent. I'm not talking about Reeves from the Lakers. I'm talking about Tommy Pickles from the Lakers. I'm not talking.
I guess he's at the Bulls now.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait. When did that happen?
Alex Caruso? I don't know. Sometime.
Wait, there's still a goofy looking white guy with a headband on the Lakers, though. So it's not Caruso. Who is that?
I don't know. I just know you've called Caruso Tommy Pickles before, so I didn't.
Anybody who's bald, white, has a headband. That's Tommy Pickles. So you can have more than one Tommy Pickles. All right.
All right. Fair enough.
My point is, somebody needs to do like a collegiate study on goofy looking white guys and the NBA. You could get your doctorate on that.
All right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't.
I mean, I'm trying to think of an exception. I
don't know who the Suns' goofy white guy is.
Is that Australian guy with the mullet? That's ours. He's actually not a bad bench player. By the way, before we go to break, let me just remind you, the other thing that was rattling around my brain watching was I get to be right on this. Keon was challenging me on the bench. I'm telling you right now, that bench for the Suns is lacking. We'll talk more about that when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brett Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
NBA playoffs tonight. The Phoenix Suns in Denver to take on the Nuggets in game number 2. Nuggets took game 1 on Saturday, 125-107. Denver had all 5 starters in double figures and are a 4-point favorite tonight at Ball Arena, minus 176 on the money line. Phoenix plus 148. The over-under is at 229. This series will shift to Phoenix for game 3 on Friday. The Celtics taking on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Game 1 of that series. Boston favored by 9.5 points, over under 214.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Braden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Greg Clark Automotive trained and certified technicians, servicing the Valley for 45 years. Located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue. Highly rated by Google. Any of their foreign, domestic, or diesel work repairs come with a digital inspection, customer approval, and warranty. 2 years or 24,000 miles. State-of-the-art service, family touch. Contact us today at 602-246-2881 or online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention 1580 and get 10% off.
Baseball is in full swing.
See you later!
And we've got the grand old game covered like an infield tarp.
How about that?
Who's hot? Who's not? We've got the latest news, score, highlights, and info from around the league all season long.
It's a camper and it'll go all the way to the wall.
We are your MLB hookup.
Looking up and it's gone, a home run.
Get all the games you can handle on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580, the Fanatic. Wow, I guess we have a lot of texts here that we have to deal with before we get into the meat of everything. Let's do that right now. Mr. Wilbur says, hey, don't forget the best day in May, Cinco de Mayo. You could not have spelled Cinco de Mayo more wrong, Wilbur. And now I get it. You're blind. Perhaps you on your Braille keyboard just can't quite find the spelling, but still, this was the worst spelling. I'm going to spell it out loud so you guys can hear this. Cinco de Mayo, according to Mr. Wilbur. SINCODIMAIO. I have never seen a worse spelling of ever. Let's give him a 5-minute penalty to think about what he's done. Sorry, man. It's tough love. I don't even know what to tell you right now. Donnie says there's nothing more annoying on social media than May 4th and Star Wars nerds. I can think of something, Donnie. I can think of something.
No.
I can think of someone. You troll. Jiggy says DeAndre Ayton is soft.
Yes, like a tasty freeze cone. Yes, exactly right.
He is a marshmallow man for sure. Lacrosse guy says, Jeffrey, you were talking about Luca. Yes, we've established that. Thank you, Lacrosse guy. Mr. Pringle says you can't blame no DeAndre for being lazy. After all, he took a pay cut to play professional basketball. You can't stay in college forever, Pringle. You know that.
Yeah,
eventually, you're gonna have to take that pay.
That's a true statement.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, after watching Sabonis this last series, I don't think Ayton is really the issue at all. He isn't Embiid or Giannis, like Keon said. He's a tier below that, but he's still a max guy. CP3, he just got too old too fast. Embiid plays defense when he's on the court, that is. Is he going to be on the court? Do we know?
Not tonight.
Sprained LCL.
Yeah, he's done for the season then, because that's what's going to happen. Historian says, on this day, historically, Batman's first comic appeared in 1939 on this day. Wow.
No kidding.
Very cool. Okay.
May 1st, 1939, huh?
Heavy Metal Maniac says, DeAndre Ayton is good, but to me, he is kind of soft. He doesn't have killer instinct. I have a feeling if they get knocked out in this round, he will not be on the team next year, given the new owner might try to upgrade. Well, that's an interesting thought, but I'm not sure where or what you're upgrading to.
Yeah, that's the thing. And there's a reason why DeAndre Ayton got the max contract. It was an unrestricted free agency deal, and he was able to go and get an offer sheet from somebody, and they matched.
I thought it was restricted free agent.
Sorry, it was restricted.
Yeah,
but he went out and got an offer sheet from somebody, and they matched it. That was the Indiana Pacers, because lots of teams, whether or not a guy is soft, could use a big guy with that athleticism, and the Suns have it. And quite frankly, I don't know that you could do better that easily.
But is it just DeAndre Ayton not getting the loose ball, or is it Monty not using DeAndre to his strengths?
I don't know. I see him getting the ball passed to him quite a bit more in this year than we did last year. That was his major complaint, is he wasn't getting the ball, and they have found him under the basket, in the paint, and even at the top of the free point, right, his sweet spot. You know what I'm talking
about.
And so I do feel like they've made more of an effort to get him more involved, and I think that on offense, he's not getting offensive rebounds, because I think he's been told, if it don't go down, start running. Don't even worry about that rebound. And I hate that. I think that is a mistake, and I get it. This is not a big bruising team, but DeAndre Ayton could be the one guy who lagged behind to see what he could do, because he's got a higher reach than anybody. He has a better shot at getting that rebound. Yeah, okay, somebody like CP3, somebody shorter like Devin Booker, all right, get your ass down the court. Somebody like Kevin Durant and DeAndre Ayton could be working a little harder for offensive rebounds. But then again, doesn't Kevin Durant just look totally breakable all the time? And you're like shocked that this guy, this lanky, does it. I'm surprised he doesn't get hurt more often. You know, everybody was talking about, oh, he's going to get hurt. Man, just watching him, and he's like, I don't know, he's like a crane or a stork. I don't know. What is he? You know, that just, I don't even know how to explain it. But yeah, so if they could just have DeAndre Ayton maybe linger a bit more, make an attempt at an offensive rebound. What I think they're afraid of is fouls. Maybe he's too clumsy to get in there and fight for a ball. They don't want him to foul out. I don't know. I mean, what's the point of having him there if he's not getting those damn rebounds?
I don't know. All I know is, again, it's on those days where he's locked in, he gets the defensive ones just fine. So I have trouble believing he gets defensive rebounds, but he can't get offensive rebounds. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Blissful Hayes says, I kind of noticed there's always a goofy looking white guy on afternoons radio shows. Yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, there's two goofy looking white guys on this one.
Goofy looking white guys.
We'll let you figure out who that is.
Yeah.
Waldo says, Jesus, that was some special spelling by Wilbur. Wilbur, I can't read your text because it was a 5 minute. So
5 minute major. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm not going to read. He's trying to appeal. You've never been appealing. Big George says, Jeffrey, is your throat feeling better today? Sounds better than Friday, but I can tell you're still recovering. Yeah, I'm still burning a little bit. I think I had a sinus infection during all this stuff over the week. So, but yeah, much better than Friday. Couldn't even really do the show Friday, but I did it anyways. Pinocchio says, I can't believe the big bad Boston Bruins got beat by an SEC hockey team.
Good
FML.
night. Wow. I mean, Berg, aside from brain cancer, he must have a broken heart today.
Yeah. Brain cancer and a broken heart.
Yeah.
That's like the title of a book he should write.
See?
And then, his wife is still there though. So they can't be that brokenhearted.
Yeah.
King of Kittens says a California preschool teacher was arrested for murder during nap time. What in the hell are you doing, King of Kittens? Why are you putting that out there? I don't want to talk about something that bad like that on this show. Why would you do that to me? No beer for you, King of Kittens.
Yeah, what are we even supposed to? This is a sports show. What are we supposed to actually say about that?
That's 5 minute major and almost a game misconduct right there.
I should probably pre-read those. Booger Wolf says Jeffrey can fill a novel with what he doesn't know about sports. Sheesh, go Suns, baby. All right. I'm not going to argue that. Baker's Cocky Him says,
you think that's going to piss Jeffrey off?
that didn't even scratch the surface, man. I know what I know, and I admit what I don't know. I've never said I was an expert on this show. That's why we have Keon around. And for us, we're fans just like you guys, and we're just talking and having fun with some sports. So, that don't bother me.
Yeah.
Baker's Cocky Him says sprained vagina for Embiid again.
Wow.
I mean,
is there something I need to know about Embiid?
Damn, that's harsh right there.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that's any of my business.
That is pretty harsh. The guy is 7 feet tall. He plays as hard as anybody in the league, and by the time we get to the end of the season, he's carrying the main load for his team, and his knee gives out every year. But when you say stuff like that, you make me think that it's a toughness thing. And
I think Baker Joel Embiid is wishing he had a vagina.
I mean, everyone else.
He might have a kink we don't know about.
Everybody's got their preferences. I'm just saying, Joel Embiid is a tough son of a bitch, and I will not stand by and let you just badmouth Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
dude's tough.
What he said.
How do you sprain a vagina? I'm not saying that someone has one. Can you sprain one?
Someone out there knows. No one on the show has one, so I
think it's for a different radio program.
Can't tell you.
Nobody on the show has one. But if you have one, can you let us know? Is there
if it's sprainable?
Yeah.
Huzzah!
That woman there, she's never had a sprained vagina. Mr. Pringle says, always great to hear from Blissful Hayes. Okay. 888-368-1580. There's just some people you just know it's never been sprained. All right. So tonight the Suns play at 7 p.m.
Yes.
But also the Diamondbacks play at 5 p.m.
Yes.
The Dodgers play at 7. Right now, probably because something good happened for the Dodgers and something bad happened for the Diamondbacks, they are absolutely tied.
Yeah.
100% tied.
Yeah.
Everything is exactly the same. The only difference in the home and away, and I think, that's it. That's the only difference in the records. The percentage, the wins, the losses, it's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight, against the Texas Rangers, or tonight, Dodgers against the Phillies, who has the
Dodgers
better chance?
Dodgers do.
We're gonna-
Phillies are terrible this year. However, tonight, what's his name? Overrated's coming back tonight. What's his name? The outfielder?
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper, that's him. Yeah, he's coming back tonight. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery, so don't expect him to come in and have 3 bombs and throw out a guy at the plate. That's just not going to happen.
He's coming back particularly fast from Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's
How long was
more-
he gone? How long did it take him?
Well, he had Tommy John in the offseason right after the series. So
How
that's
much
November.
longer could it
159
have
days
taken?
is what I read.
Huh?
159 days is what I read. And they were expecting him back by the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's
So-
July.
Right. This is probably not a good idea to bring him
This
back
is
this
May.
fast.
Well, the doctors cleared him. They cleared him to play. Now I call a little bit of shenanigans on this because he's making one of those mega deals. You know, he was one of the first guys to make those, 10-year, $300 million deal, whatever it was.
Oh, you think that he was hurt and didn't disclose it?
No, I think what happened is maybe there's been some pressure to get him back on the field because we're paying him so damn much. Get him back on the field. Now I'm just speculating. Of course, Major League Baseball looks after the players first. Blah blah blah.
The players look after the players first. I don't see Major League Baseball being able to pressure a player into anything.
Major League Baseball, but the team probably work. And quite honestly, he's a competitor. This is a guy that wants to be on the field. He wants to be in the game. He wants to perform well. He's not a guy to sit on his laurels, in the dugout watching somebody else play the game. He wants to be out there, part of the game. So I give him kudos for coming back so quickly. But there is that side of me that thinks, maybe the suits are saying we got to get him back on the field. We got to get him back on the field. Got to get him back on the field. We're paying him a lot of money.
No, I doubt that, Randy, because I don't think a team can pressure a player any more than Major League Baseball.
Well, I'm not
can.
saying they're pressuring the player. I mean, hey Doc, hey Doc, he's going to look good enough to play, isn't he? See what I mean?
And
Team's paying the doctor. Hey Doc, he's going to look good, isn't he?
And if the
I guess
doctor
we'll know
says
if he
yes,
gets hurt.
it's a player that's happy to be out there in Bryce Harper. I
Well,
mean,
and the other thing is if he comes out and he comes back so fast and he goes out there and he gets injured right away, now you got a situation.
Well, that's where the players union will step in and
Exactly.
have to whoop some ass. Speaking of getting hurt and stuff, there has been an increase in pitching injuries ever since they started using the pitch clock. And it hasn't just been pitching injuries, other injuries too. And the thought process is because you're rushed, and when you're rushed, you're trying to throw the ball harder. You're trying to hit the ball harder. Everything gets rushed, and so everything seems more dramatic. And you know what I'm saying? You maybe are not exercising the kind of control when you have a moment to stop and kind of think about it. And they did. They said there were 270 injured list stints through April, the most they've ever seen in 40 years. The increase was all with pitchers, 180 compared to 143 last year. Mets led the way with 12 injured list stints by pitchers.
I mean,
and the velocity was at its highest ever before May, 92.8 miles an hour average.
I could understand what you're saying there, and there might be a lot of validity to that. These guys get out there and they're under the gun. It's a new rule. They haven't faced it before. They just instituted it this year. They didn't try to do anything, in spring training one year to get the guys used to it. They just kind of instituted it and said, this is the way it's going to be. And you're probably right. These guys get a little amped up. But you know what? You go to any Little League game, go to any high school game, go to any college game. These guys aren't meandering about the ballpark like Major League Baseball was doing, stepping out after every pitch, adjusting everything from your cleats all the way up to your ball cap, and taking so much time, sometimes walking away from the ball, from the batter's box to go put some more pine tar in your back. Get in the box and hit. And if it's causing a problem, boy, that's too bad. These guys need to learn to settle down and just get into the rhythm of the game.
As they sell you in, the Catholic Church and in the Miami Sound Machine, the rhythm is going to get you.
It's going to get you.
The rhythm is going to get you.
Tonight.
Thank you. 888-368-1580. All right. So any other baseball notes before I move on?
Well,
to other
Diamondbacks
things?
made a big move today. Bringing a new left-handed pitcher from the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh,
I forget his name. It's Connor Clippinger or something like that. They instantly sent him down to minors. They sent some cash to Cleveland.
So we grabbed the guy from
Yeah.
Cleveland and sent him down to the minors
Yeah.
for tune-up, or what?
Well, so he was going to be, the way I understand it, all the reading I could get, because there's not a lot of information about this kid out there. I have to do some more research, but this guy, he was going to be designated for assignment, and the Diamondbacks made a move to bring him in and send some cash to Cleveland, send him down to the minor leagues. Pitching is a premium in me.
And I think we've lost Randy.
I think we did lose Randy.
Oh, for a moment, I was kind of hoping we'd lost me. I was going to go downstairs, get a drink, whatever. Yeah, Randy has completely lost his entire internet. So let's take a break, see if we can get Randy back. When we come back, though, we'll let him finish his thought, but we'll probably, oh, there he's back. Yeah, he's coming back. Oh, Jesus Christ. Get on the cell card. If you can hear me, get on the cell card. It's a I can talk to him in his language. He'll understand this. Yes, he gets it. We'll be back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-279-0433 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-279-0433. That's 800-279-0433. What do you have to lose? Call 800-279-0433. Again, 800-279-0433.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Greg Clark Automotive trained and certified technicians, servicing the Valley for 45 years. Located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue. Highly rated by Google. Any of their foreign, domestic, or diesel work repairs come with a digital inspection, customer approval, and warranty. 2 years or 24,000 miles. State-of-the-art service, family touch. Contact us today at 602-246-2881 or online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention 1580 and get 10% off.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Psst. Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though.
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
If it's local, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Whoops. Hold on.
Stand by.
Oh yeah, you're right, Quiet Cannon. No, I had the thing printed up here, and Diamondbacks don't play today, and the Dodgers do. My bad, Quiet Cannon. He's like, you guys know something Major League Baseball doesn't know? Diamondbacks aren't playing today. It must be Monday at the Fanatic. All right, so big deal, big hairy deal. All right, so I didn't see it. It said Tuesday there. That's what I get. Anyway, I don't know. Should we just cancel the show now? I think we should all just go home.
I don't think Radio Ron's going to appreciate that very much.
Find a knitting show. Let's just put a knitting show in. What are you doing, Randy?
I'm trying to put the cell card so it doesn't go.
Man, it's not doing that anymore. You're fine. What are you doing? Just, I suppose if we're going to have this kind of a start to the show, it's better than an end of the show.
I'll just do the show like this.
All right. I don't think you need to do that.
What do you think?
You could fold the thing over and it will just sort of hang on something there.
Huh?
You know, just saying. All right. So, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I was talking about Connor Pilkington.
Yeah.
I was talking about that. They optioned him to AAA Reno. Picked up a left-hander for cash considerations. Big move by the Diamondbacks. Always looking for pitching.
You know, that really feel like a big move if he's been sent down in the minors?
No, not a big move.
So you're being facetious.
Yeah, I was being a facetious there.
Oh, I got you. You know, as weird as this show can be sometimes, and maybe sometimes we try to limit it to the 3 o'clock hour because Radio Ron, he's more worried about the 4 and 5 o'clock hour. I think he's worried about every hour, but he's basically said, if you're going to do that stupid crap, please don't do it at 4 or 5. And we try to obey that. We don't always succeed, but hey, at least we're not ESPN. I mean, I could just stop right there. We'd all walk away and be like, no, he's right. He's absolutely right.
We're not.
But if you were watching the Heat-Knicks game there on, the other day, you're like, oh, this is nice. Oh, look at that shot of the Statue of Liberty right there. Must be stock footage. Why is that? Oh, you can see the Twin Towers right there.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
boy.
That's over 23 years old footage. Now, if you go back to 2001, they were in a aspect ratio of, what was it? 4 by, it's like the square.
Yeah, 4 by 3, I think.
4 by 3.
Right. And then it was only like 2003 or 4, you started seeing the 16 by 9. So I'm kind of curious why nobody noticed that this was 4 by 3 footage that they were trying to use as pre-roll the background there to show the skyline. And why would you use over 23-year-old footage? I'm very perplexed by all of this.
That is an associate producer that just got fired, probably.
Oh yeah, somebody is absolutely fired. ESPN says we mistakenly used old stock footage. We apologize, and that was it. And listen, we're at a point now where I don't think anybody was just like, oh, too soon. Oh my God, I mean, it was traumatizing for all of us. But you see the towers here. First thing you're like, oh, that's nice. See the old. You see the towers, right? Did they rebuild those? I didn't think they did. And I don't think anybody is shell shocked by this. But it just is one of those things where you sit there, you look at that person next to you, and you're like, ESPN, these idiots.
Yeah,
I think that's about all.
Times have been hard for ESPN. They've had to lay off a lot of people. So
they have laid off the wrong people if crap like this is happening.
Yeah, I mean,
correct.
They've had to lay off a lot of people. That Stephen A. Smith contract doesn't get paid, by people being there working, doing their jobs. I mean, they got to lay it off so they can pay Stephen A. Smith. I mean,
the old shouty guy is still there, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bloviating as usual.
And I don't remember. I think it was like a couple of years ago. They gave him just an absolutely massive contract because he is on every one of their shows.
Every time, and then every time that happens, people get fired. Everybody else gets laid off.
I think he and Van Pelt were I was reading he and Van Pelt were the only two that were untouchable. Everybody else could go away.
Van Pelt is worth it, and I'm not sure Stephen A. Smith is. Van Pelt is a classic broadcaster. He's an OG of the Sports Center, and I don't mind Stephen A. Smith, but he's always just shouting. That's all. I don't know. A lot of people may have problems with his takes.
It's just that he yells at me all the time.
He's just constant. And he was yelling the other day about, oh, yeah, that's it. Denver Nuggets are going to win this whole damn thing. Based on the one game, he's just shouting, screaming about it. And, okay, all right. So I guess this is where we're at. One game. We lost the first game against the Clippers. I felt uneasy the entire series. I never felt comfortable. Even that last game, you just never felt comfortable with any lead you had against the Clippers. It seems to me these Denver Nuggets are going to be a lot of work. But am I down? Am I worried? Am I wringing my hands? No. Listen, if we win one in Denver, we're going to be fine. If we don't win one in Denver, it don't look good. I'm not going to say it's impossible. Look what the damn Warriors just did, right? This Denver team, though, damn good. It's a damn good team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that a lot of people were counting them out because this Denver team's been good for a little bit, but they've been good. Then they get to the playoffs and then they get bounced out. And the difference with them is Jamal Murray. He's on the floor,
points.
Yeah. He averages
6
more points than Jokic.
three-pointers.
And Jokic even said that's the best player on our team. And I agree.
And that's coming from a 2-time MVP.
Exactly.
And by the way, lest I remind everybody of the painful game from the other night, every one of the starters for Denver were in double digits in scoring.
Which is, one thing when it's guys like, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. But when you start getting to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Aaron Gordon, who I think he's a very, very good player. But something's got to give. You've got to stop somebody out there on the floor.
Yeah, well, we all have noticed that Monty's adjustments maybe aren't the quickest, but I have to feel like we're going to come out a little better in the next game. The thing is, this game here, it wasn't like that till the second half, and then the Denver Nuggets just went nuts. In the first quarter, it was tight. Second quarter, we went down, but if you evened it all out, we weren't down so much that it was like the end of the world. I think it was 10 or 11 points or something. And then coming back, we had a good third quarter. We were starting to make some headway, and then it just stopped being fun anymore.
It was game one. Everybody was amped up. It was a home crowd for Denver. I applaud them. It was a good game by them. Also, people have been talking about it's the altitude. It's going to kill the Suns. They're not in condition. The Suns have been there since, was it Thursday last week when I saw somewhere they've gone up there to acclimate. So they've been up there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's Monday. They've been up there 5 days. I think tonight's game should be a bit different than what we saw on Saturday night.
You really think the altitude played that much of a
Absolutely.
When you get late in games, the Denver teams, I think in sports generally have that as their edge, is that they play there and you're visiting, and especially in the playoffs, you get there on kind of short order, a short turnaround. And that can actually impact you. Yeah.
And Denver was saying at halftime, look, we need to go out and run these guys to death. We need to run them to death.
Now, sorry.
Hamilton Porter says, remember, guys, series don't start until road team wins a game. There's no way they shoot like that every game. No, all right, I'll give you that. There was some astounding shooting by Denver in that game. But if you look at the stats, Suns were doing Suns things. Kevin Durant, 29 points, 14 rebounds. By the way, DeAndre Ayton only had 7. Then you had Devin Booker with 27 points. Chris Paul with 11. So, it seemed like the Suns were doing their standard Suns, act. Okogie only had 2 points, so that was a downer.
So that doesn't help. But what really tells the story is the turnovers. The Suns had a double the turnover percentage that the Nuggets had. 14% to Denver 7%.
Can't blame refs on that.
Nope, you can't. And Kevin Durant had half of them. And he even said so at the end that he's got to be better and he's got to take better care of the basketball. Like the turnovers will absolutely kill you against the Nuggets.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because they're such a good team in transition. They score just about every time.
Yeah, and if you are looking at rebounds, oh, wait a second. Yeah, that's just crazy. There's guys on their team, a bunch of guys getting rebounds they all add up. And I'm saying some of the smaller guys were running there and getting rebounds. And I don't know. I just feel like I want more rebounds out of these guys. Let's go to the text line. Big George says, yeah, ESPN used 23-year-old stock footage of the Statue of Liberty because it's been 23 years since the New York Knicks have been this good. That's why. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. They haven't bothered to film the skyline. Haven't had a reason.
They haven't gone on, shot more stock because, the Knicks haven't been in the playoffs.
They're like, are you kidding me? Oh, crap. Let's just use this. La Furia Roja says, you make fun of Star Wars fans and you start talking in Chewbacca's language. No, that was Randy's equipment.
That was my internet connection.
Yeah. Raven Kid says, good afternoon, guys. Here's a plus. AZ teams were 2-2 in Denver over the weekend. What were we doing in who? What?
Well, the Diamondbacks played in Colorado.
No, okay. All right. Okay, so
We
they
took
won
2
two.
Yeah, and
then they lost
the
one.
Suns,
And
the Suns lost one. Yeah, so 2-2.
Hey, Raven Kid, we're all impressed you're in college, but don't come at us with math, please. Don't just don't do that.
No one likes a math geek, Scully.
So all right, so the Suns tonight at 7 p.m.
Now, is that Mountain Standard Time or is that Arizona time? What are we looking at here?
I think it's tonight at 7 our time.
Okay.
And now I'm second guessing everything since I got the Diamondbacks wrong.
Yeah.
It does say tonight on TNT. So do we have anybody going, yay? Or is everybody saying nay?
I think the Suns will play much better. I think they will adjust to what's happened. Like I said, they've had some time there to adjust to that altitude. And I think these are professional basketball players. Not a lot of young people on this team, aside from DeAndre Ayton, and he's even been around. He's been through the finals. He's been through the playoffs. I don't look for the Suns to choke away a second game. I think it'll be much closer. I give the Suns the edge. I think they win this and come back to Phoenix.
All right. What do you think, Keon?
I agree, honestly. I don't see Kevin Durant having another game where he took care of the basketball as poorly as he did. I just don't see that happening multiple times in a row.
That was bizarre.
I mean, it's just strange to see. He was getting the ball stolen from him. There were some passes where it was just, dear God, why would you throw that there? Devin Booker had a few of those too, where he tried to throw it into Ayton in the post, but the guy that's guarding Ayton is fronting the post. So you got to throw it over both of them, and he threw it short. That's just basic stuff that I know Devin Booker can do. I just think that they were just out of sorts in that first game. I also think that Monty's adjustments between games are very good. I know I criticize him for his in-game stuff, but the adjustments he tends to make between games are right. Good. He does bounce back well.
That's what I was alluding to earlier when I was asking about Monty's adjustments. You're right. He does adjust well in between games. But guess what? The Nuggets will know that, and then the Nuggets will be like, he won't be ready for this. And they're going to be trying stuff too. So
maybe
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I do not know. Tonight is the night you find out. Are the Denver Nuggets that good? Are they doing better than the Phoenix Suns? Do they have more? You're going to learn everything you need to know about this series tonight. Whatever happens in tonight's game, that is the reality that the Suns are going to have to fight through. Either they're going to come back and fight hard and win that game and come back here. Now you're feeling more confident. Maybe it goes to a game 7. Maybe they fight back so hard you're like, damn. Or maybe the Nuggets hand them a big old wedgie and take their lunch money. And if that happens, then that's the way the series will go too. Tonight, I think, is a very important night to see what's next for our Phoenix Suns. Against the Spread says, hey, I owe you guys pizza. Let me know what kind you want. We'll make arrangements. Ooh. Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. What kind of pizza you guys want? We can't have it today. We'll have to wait till we're all in the studio. But
can we have it today?
We can't have it today, Randy. I will figure it out. Thank you Against the Spread, and I'm really sad that we won that bet. We certainly did not want to. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Hour 2 is next.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Sponsored by Abbey and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime. When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. And your good friend, the radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And, yeah, we're talking about your Phoenix Suns right now. And against the spread, we had a bet. He said Suns were going to sweep. And we said, no, they're not. And he said, yes, they are. And he bet us. He wanted to do a bet where we'd have to buy 150 kids McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. There's so much wrong with that whole idea. I mean, I don't mind doing a bet where it benefits a bunch of kids. You know, we have the charity Arizona Sports Angels. So I'm always happy to help out, especially a Title I school or something like that. But that seemed like an uneven bet, didn't it? You know, we'd have to pay. What was it? What do we think it was about $300 if we lost, and he gets to pay like $20 if we win? Just didn't seem like an even bet. You know, although he did have the harder end of it, you know, for you to sweep anybody, especially you know, second round of the playoffs, that is not an easy task.
Especially the number 1 seed in the West.
But I just certainly didn't want to risk that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, what is your appetite for risk? And with the payout there, pretty low.
So we compromised. He would give us a pizza if we were right, and or he would get to be on the show, kind of like Raven Kid was the other day, if the Suns swept. So that's what we were saying. We're very sorry that he didn't win that bet. We're very sorry because we'd love to see the Suns sweep, but it does not seem likely with these Denver Nuggets. If you thought people were underestimating the Sacramento Kings, feels like they're underestimating these Denver Nuggets. Again, like Keon said, because in previous years, they'd get wiped out pretty quick because of injuries. And now we have a fully healthy Denver Nuggets team. I guess what seems to be a fully healthy Phoenix Suns team. Now, the first question I'm going to ask is, what do the Suns need to do to win this game? What do the Suns need to do different to win this game? What are the Suns missing?
Well, I think we talked about it just a few moments ago. First thing they have to do is take better care of the basketball. They've got to limit turnovers. There's going to be some, but you have got to take better care of the basketball. So for me, that's number one. Keon, maybe you've got some thoughts, but I think it all starts with turnovers.
I agree with that. It starts with turnovers and taking care of the basketball. But I'll say on defense, a thing I'd love to see them do is be more physical out on the perimeter. You wouldn't be able to tell from the way that game went. They actually outscored Denver in the paint. They played their game on offense to them for the most part, but then on the defensive side, they just let Denver have the outside shooting that they wanted. And I felt that way about the Clippers series too, where for a lot of stretches of those games, I didn't like the perimeter defense out there. Like these teams have guys who can shoot. Okay, maybe Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is insanely streaky, and I don't know if you can trust him to shoot like that multiple games in a row, but he's going to have the game or two where he's hot. And if you don't cover him, he's going to make you pay. There are a lot of role players like that. That's how Denver is built. Bruce Brown coming in off the bench. Like he's another guy. He wasn't really killing it from three, but he had a really good mid-range game going. You've got to be able to stop the teams that really want to shoot from shooting. And I understand that there's a lot of attention you've got to give to Murray and Jokic. Makes total sense. But those guys out there shooting, those are the guys that are really killing it.
Yeah, you got to stop the three. If you had to choose, let somebody have a two underneath or stop the three on the outer perimeter. Be on the damn perimeter. Be on the damn perimeter. Because as fast as they score two, you can score two. But if they start plopping a bunch of threes, now you find yourself in a deficit.
And look, I'm not saying give up and let do the Matador defense and let them go to the basket.
No, neither am I. But you need to get guys out there more than 2 steps too late going, I hate that.
You can't, this league, the way that the 3-point line has revolutionized everything in the last 5 to 6 years, getting there late, you might as well not even be there.
I want to see that hand up. I want to see that hand up anyways, but we know when you're late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody knows when you're late.
It's just, it's better to have the hand up when you can actually contest the shot.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, if Durant, a.k.a. Gumby, oh, that's good. He is
I have heard him called that before.
He's anorexic Gumby. That's what he is, just big lanky. And he says if he could bring his horse with him, the Suns would for sure win it all. There's rules against that horse. He also says Suns shot a higher percentage inside. Yeah, they seem to lose to teams that hit threes every playoffs. They couldn't make them all, but when you take 20 more per game and hit 40% of those, you got no shot. Monty doesn't get the math, I guess. Raven Kid says, we thought Monty struggled with Ty Lue's adjustments, but Mike Malone from the Nuggets, he's no slouch. He has an MVP to work around. We really need Monty to step up tonight. Well, we need everybody to step up tonight because if you went back and watched the game again and where Kevin Durant turned the ball over, that was not on Monty. Where other people did certain things, not everything was on Monty. But if you start to tally up the points that were cost by the turnovers and by other things, missed shots, this, that, it's a whole different ball game for sure. Does Monty need to make some adjustments? Oh, hell yeah. But you can't blame the entire thing on old Monty.
No,
Leslie says, maybe the Suns should hire Tanya Hastings' bodyguard to help the Suns win. Oh, you dork. It's Harding. Tanya Harding.
Tanya Hastings, isn't that the wife of Hastings and Hastings? Attorneys at law?
I know. Are you suggesting that they sue them, use an accident injury lawyer?
That's it. Yeah, Big George, maybe you need to go to Denver and threaten a lawsuit against them if the Suns lose again.
Well, oh, yeah, and I think Blissful Hayes should have to pay for the retainer.
Absolutely.
It's his idea,
Yeah.
after all.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's look at the numbers for tonight. The spread is 4.5 in favor of the Nugs. So how do we feel about that?
It's a home game, so they're going to get a little bit of juice there. And
yeah,
I think that the way that they've played throughout the year and so far in the playoffs, they've earned the right to be the team that's seen as the favorite. That I still think that the Suns are going to win the series in 6, and I think that the Suns are going to split the series in Denver. So I think they're going to win tonight.
They have to.
I'm not 100% worried about it because I didn't see the best Suns basketball over the weekend. And I think that there are adjustments that both Monty as the coach and the players themselves can make to play a whole lot better.
Suns need somebody off the bench to be a surprise guy, and I think
it'll
this
be
game,
a surprise if they don't got that person.
I think this is the game where you might see that somebody off the bench needs to step up and take it upon his shoulders to say, okay, I need to help this team. I need to be a sixth man here, and I need to be an impact player for this team. And I have a feeling this is the game for it to happen. But with that said, the 4-point favorite, I think that is more than. I agree with Keon 110% is what I'm trying to say. And also, I understand the over is 224, something like that.
227 at least at this
227. I'll take the over. I'll go over on that.
So you think it's going to be a shootout?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is hard to stop Denver, and I just don't think the Suns are going to shoot that badly outside 2 games in a row when you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
I am looking at this bench, okay? I'm looking at this bench, and you know who came off the bench for the most amount of minutes? Torrey Craig. You know how many points he had? 3. Ja Langdale had 10 minutes, and he had 7 points. Maybe we're putting the wrong guys out there, Monty. You look at the minutes versus what they did. Shamet, 14 minutes, 3 points. Lee,
he does that all the time.
12 points. 12 minutes, 3 points.
It's just like your rotations get smaller. Like your bench is just not as deep in the playoffs. This is true for everybody. But it just feels like when your rotations tighten up, the guys you trust the most are out there. And I have trouble believing that Landry Shamet is one of the guys that Monty trusts the most, because we are 7 games into this postseason, and I haven't seen Landry Shamet do anything useful.
All right, Cam Payne is going to have to get more minutes, and he's going to have to play better. Also, Landale is a guy you should probably get out there. I love Bismack Biyombo, but Landale was able to find it. You know what I'm saying? So Torrey Craig was I don't know. Maybe it's one of these things where maybe you're right. Maybe tonight one of these guys will surprise you. But right now, Torrey Craig, Landry Shamet, and Lee, they should be embarrassed, because they got some minutes where they needed to be productive and they just weren't.
And that sucks to me, especially Damian Lee, because that's a guy I was excited for when he came over here from the Warriors, because he was always a quality bench type guy. And I thought he's going to be a guy that you put on the bench and he comes and he brings that energy, he brings that control, and it just hasn't really materialized. There have been moments, but it hasn't really shown up. You know, there are guys that have played better than this in the past. Torrey Craig has played better than this. Landry Shamet has played better than this. So I was bullish on the bench, prior to the postseason, because I've seen this bench play better than this, but I haven't seen it once really in the whole playoffs. I mean, I've seen individual guys on the bench play well, but I haven't seen one of those games where the Suns used to have, at least last year they did, where they would go to the bench and those guys could keep you in games. They could score some points. They could play some solid defense, and maybe they're not going to outscore the other team's starters or whatever, but they'd hold their own against that unit and they'd play really well against the opposing bench. I just haven't seen that this year.
No matter what happens next season with Chris Paul, he may retire. Maybe he hangs around. No matter what happens, you've got a bunch of guys on the bench that your whole bench needs some help. There needs to be some improvements there, and you're really seeing it now. All right, so enough about the Suns. Go Suns! We're all hoping for the Suns, and like I said, you will see what the Suns really are made of tonight. at 7 p.m. Now, I watched a game over the weekend where the Kings somehow still lost the Warriors, even though this guy right here, right behind they tried everything. Sacramento tried everything to win, including one guy offering a wad of $100 bills to the officials. That's what he's doing right there.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
He's right behind the Sacramento
That's
head coach.
unbelievable.
And he's just like, hey. I'm like, what is that guy doing? Oh,
Yeah.
he's trying to bribe the officials. You got to give Sacramento credit. Boy, what a great town for the way they treated their team. Yeah, an awful lot of people left before the game was over, but an awful lot of people stayed there, started chanting Sacramento, just sort of in appreciation of their team. They haven't been here in many years. And I got to tell you, this team is a good. This is a good team. I think they will be back, and they need to make a few adjustments. But the biggest adjustment they need to make is age. These guys are so young. They got their playoff experience, and they'll be back. And it's a good coach. It's a good team. I really enjoyed watching it until the Warriors started to pull away. You could blink, and then all of a sudden you're like, "What the hell just happened? Oh my God!" It was crazy.
And you have one of those Steph Curry games. I don't know what you're supposed to do. 7 of 8 from 3. He goes for 50. When he's shooting the ball like that, there is no defense created by man that can stop it. He's making everything from everywhere.
Also, how about Looney with all them damn rebounds? Rebounds. He was all over the place for the Warriors. He was a big factor underneath. But yeah, I mean, there were 18 turnovers, in the previous game for the Warriors, but now you can tell they were a lot more disciplined and cleaned that up. But yeah, and then here was the thing that was weird in this game, though. All the missed free throws by the Warriors, and they still won 120-100.
That was how many free throws they got, because they were being aggressive. They were going to the basket. They have the jump shooting aspect to them with Clay and Steph, but they put their head down and they go to the basket and they draw fouls too.
Freakish, though. It was a freakish thing that they would miss so many. We watched a guy who hasn't missed a free throw in a game 7 in how long? Steph Curry misses 2 free throws in a row. Everybody was missing free throws, 19 of 30 from the line. And it was, I mean, it's been an issue for them. They actually missed 10 free throws in the previous game. They were 25 of 35. So this is a team that we're talking in the 90s. Most of their players, if you foul anybody, they're going to make both, if not one at least.
Clay missed 2 as well.
I know, it was bizarre. I mean, you hate to do it. You Steph Curry, you're Steve Kerr. You're like, hey, guess what we're doing in practice today?
You can't even blame Draymond, who's the worst of them. He only shot 2 free throws and missed 1, so that was everybody else.
He missed half his free throws. So that was just a weird thing to watch. And as you're watching this earlier in the game, you're like, oh my God, if they lose the game because of this. And then there was just no way they're going to lose. And then they were still missing. They just kept missing free throws. When I start looking at the basket, I'm like, is there a problem with the basket? Is it like weirdly tilted? Like they're not, you know what I'm saying? Like something was off?
I don't know. I think it was just one of those days. I mean, it's just stats. Sometimes the averages work out to where that's not the day for you.
Well, I got a big old batch of shut the bleep up for Draymond Green. He's whining. He's like, I lost a lot of respect when Sabonis wouldn't handshake me at the end of the game. You lost it. Deal with it. It's like, whoa, dude, you stomped on his chest. Of course, he doesn't want to shake your hand at the end of the game.
There are very much hard feelings. Yeah.
He's like, hey, I walked back there and showed everybody love. Not everybody wants your love, Draymond. I mean, listen, I find him amusing, but I don't think I would find him very amusing if he was jumping up and down on my chest cavity. I mean, yeah, Sabonis was fine. And then, of course, maybe he's not looking to shake Looney's hand after catching a big old elbow into his eye socket. That's why he had that shiner right there. And, Kevin Looney, I don't think it was an accident. I think he was trying to elbow him in the face. Yeah, and he did.
Because Sabonis was playing physical down there. So Looney gave it right back to him. And look, I mean, I get it. Sabonis was swinging his elbows around too. The fact that he just didn't catch anybody is not excuse him. So Looney, after game one, when people were asking, were the Kings being too aggressive and too physical, he said, no, this is normal for playoff basketball, and then played like that. So, to his credit, he never made a complaint about Sabonis, but then he went back at Sabonis just as hard. So Sabonis might have some hard feelings there, but that was just the nature of the series, and I hope that maybe there's a rivalry kind of growing here. I like it.
I don't hold it against Sabonis at all. Don't blame him, not one single bit, for not wanting to shake that hand, and listen, not like he's the first person to ever not shake a hand. I'm pretty sure, Jordan didn't shake a hand or two. Tom Brady hasn't shaked a hand or two. LeBron James hasn't shaken a hand or two. I'm sure there's plenty of guys been like, go bleep yourself.
The bad boy Pistons notoriously walked out of the series with the Celtics. That they were losing, and the Celtics never forgave them for that. But there was bad blood in that rivalry the whole time. Both of those teams were going back and forth.
If I'm Draymond Green, I know who I am. And if somebody doesn't want to shake my hand, I don't think I'm just laughing it off. Like, this guy. But I'm not going on a podcast going, well, I lost a lot of respect for El Sabonis there. I just don't understand it.
I can't imagine why he would hate me in particular. I don't get it.
That's a spot on Draymond Green, by the way, Jeffrey.
I don't know what his problem is. I just, use his chest like a trampoline for a few minutes. But I thought he was in cardiac arrest. I was trying to help. I don't know why he's angry. I mean, if anything, that must have jump-started him a little bit. Nurse Scratch, says, game tonight is only on TNT. Most of my clients are on fixed incomes, disability, can't afford cable. Oh, that sucks. Is there nowhere on because ESPN will shove it over to ABC 15. There's no place else to watch that?
Well, for TNT, they don't really have another place they send that. So,
oh man,
yeah.
Sorry, Nurse Scratch. That does suck.
And of course, the local broadcast I think is still on the Bally's. Like they're not out of that yet. So,
well, good news, Nurse Scratchit. At least next year, the Suns will be on regular TV. I didn't even think about that. That's too bad. Hefty Lefty says, it's been so long since anybody has shot playoff free throws in Sacramento that it's, throwing off the best of shooters.
Even the other team.
Just don't even. Well, see, if both teams are having a problem, I start to wonder about the rim. Was it tilted? Like, how you go and you go to the state fair and you're trying to shoot baskets, clonk, and you're like, what the hell? And it's because they have it tilted, and maybe they just had a problem with the baskets. I don't know. It's just a theory.
Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes. I know that there have been a couple of games, even this year, where somebody came running in, just screaming before the game started, it's crooked, it's crooked. And then they stopped, and then the game started maybe a little later than it normally would because they had to straighten it out. So maybe nobody caught it this time. I couldn't tell you.
When we come back, we're going to give you reason number 37,822 of why LeBron James will never be Michael Jordan. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
The Suns are moving on to the second round of the NBA playoffs.
Can they stand up to the Denver Nuggets' suffocating defense?
Will Booker continue to lead the way for the Suns? Who will be the surprising player off the bench for the Valley's team when it comes to Suns playoff basketball?
We are your source for all the info, insight, and breaking news.
Live and local for the Valley, 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Steiner here on 1580. The Fanatic. Donnie says those senior citizens are going to be in bed by the time the Suns are down 20 in the second quarter. Are you really going to come in here trolling after what LeBron James? I'm sorry. After who took out the Timberwolves again? I already forgot they've been out of this so long.
Yeah,
Who took them out?
it was the Lakers.
It was the Lakers. All right. Yeah. Are you sure?
Right? No,
Because I feel like the Lakers are getting ready to play Golden State.
yeah,
They
no,
LeBron took down the Memphis Grizzlies.
that's who it was. Oh,
Boy, it's been so long.
yeah, I totally forgot. I was like, man, who did they play?
I got to go back in time to try to remember. Hey, Randy, who
Yeah.
did who beat the ass out of the Minnesota Timberwolves? I can't
Who beat
remember
the ass out of the Timberwolves?
because their asses got beat out pretty bad.
Oh, it was,
And in the first round,
I
or
feel
was
like
it
an
the
idiot.
play?
It was
Was it a
Denver.
play-in?
Yeah,
Denver beat them.
you.
Oh, to get to play the Suns. Oh, I see. Man, it'd be great if we're playing the Minnesota team. We would have won in 3. That'd be it. They'd be like, forget it, we're done.
Wow.
We don't want any more. Suns in 3, right there.
Yeah. Mm.
Navy Brad says, bring on the Hanson brothers. You know, I know we're talking basketball right now, but
Hanson brothers.
I do got to say, I heard that Will I Am from the Steelers, Mike Tomlin,
Mike Tomlin, yeah.
had told a guy, he's like, we're drafting you. He goes, I need goons out there. He actually said it like that, like, I need goons out there. I don't know if it was the O-line or D-line. I think it might have been D-line. And I was like, damn, that's awesome. You know, that's you and I, Randy, we understand what that means.
Yes, we do.
We
Yes,
need
we
some
do.
goons, some brutes.
Yeah, we need some henchmen out there.
That's right. Just kind of funny to hear a coach actually say that. So that's kinda cool. Anyway, back to this. I promised you guys the next latest reason LeBron James will never be Michael Jordan. He will
Can't
never be LeBron. He'll never be Kobe. So y'all know how the Lakers beat the Grizzlies. We all know that.
Yes. Yes.
We talked about this a little bit last week. We're like, hey,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and it even came up on the show. Hey, a real legend, a real icon, isn't going on Twitter, getting into Twitter fights, making Twitter comments. Keon says, well, that's because they didn't have that in their time. I don't think that. I don't think that Michael Jordan would have ever risked his brand. Look how important that had become. It still pays his bills. I don't think Kobe cared about anything but play. I mean, he'll talk his crap to you on the court, but he did come in. He was still around during Twitter. There was still Twitter. LeBron James, one day, and then he starts to tweet out lyrics to a Jay-Z song directed at. There's nobody else it could be directed at Dylan Brooks. Unlike you, little bleep, I'm a grown-ass man. Big shoes to fill, bleep, grown-ass pants. Probably hustled with your pops, go ask your parents. It's apparent you're staring at a legend. Who put a little bleep in they place before? Trying to eat without saying they graced before. I mean, I know it's unsettling how well I do those lyrics.
It's just like Jay-Z was in the booth.
I know.
Stirring. Yeah, stirring.
I don't want to get in trouble with the music people. They'll think that we actually played the clip. That was just me.
You're right.
And so does that seem like something Jordan would have ever done? Would Jordan have followed up with another tweet? This was on Instagram, and said, "If you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear."
Yeah, no. Michael Jordan would not also put the crown on himself. No. Mm-mm. No, Michael Jordan would let his game do the talk.
And LeBron already did. LeBron had nothing to say, nothing he needed to say. We were all looking at Dylan Brooks like the clown ass that he is. He stepped up and he did. He poked the bear, and what did it get him? It got him embarrassed. It got him so embarrassed, but he wouldn't talk to the press after for all 3 of the Grizzlies' road losses that the NBA has fined him $25,000. He was embarrassed, and he was fined, and he was beaten. And now he's going into a contract year. I don't think this is going to go well for him.
It won't. Because as much as Dylan Brooks has made himself a name as a guy who can be an agitator, Unlike some of the other agitators that we mention from time to time, I don't think Dillon Brooks is actually a good basketball player.
So, Dillon Brooks has embarrassed himself. There was no need for LeBron to go at him like that. There's zero need. That shows you the personality. LeBron James is not Michael Jordan, and LeBron James is not Kobe Bryant.
It's unfortunate because LeBron James has really nothing to prove. I mean, he's let his game do the talk, but over the years, this has been the same thing over and over and over. I mean, come on, LeBron. You're not immature. You're not a kid. You're a man. You're a grown-ass man. You don't have to do this.
He is immature. He did this. That is immature.
It is very immature.
Or if it's not immature, it's a personality deficit. You know what I'm saying? That you allow yourself to get drug into something like that. I'm sorry. It just takes away. If you want to be the king, if you want to be the GOAT, if you want to be as big as the people who came before you, this ain't helping.
I don't know. I'm a stick in the mud anyway, so I'll just be a stick in the mud. But to me, what you do off the court, barring like a homicide or something absolutely egregious, I don't think that stuff can take away from what you do on the court because I saw it. I'm more interested in what he does as a basketball player. Do I think it's corny that he did that? Oh, that is Russell Wilson thinks that's corny. That you decided to go ahead and do that.
And he's Mr. Cheese.
I mean, there is no one cheesier in this world than Russell Wilson.
Well,
and even Russell Wilson thought, man, wow. I don't think it's good. I think it's just kind of silly because it's like you're going after a role player, man. Who honestly cares? But for me, what you are and what your legacy is from my personal standpoint and how I look at that stuff, I literally do not care what you do on social media.
But here's the difference.
Unless you're like harassing people.
LeBron is always making a case that he's one of those people. He's always making a case. So since he's out there, blah, 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 always alluding, always saying, look at me. And he adds this to it, it takes away. If all you needed to worry about was his game, all right, now you're starting to look at that going, But then you could tear that down saying, well, Michael Jordan didn't go from team to team to team. Michael Jordan, was able to win more championships in the way he did. It just all the way around, even if you compare them, does LeBron have scoring titles? Okay, fine. It's not about that. It's about the championships. And one guy won them where he was. The other guy had to go chase him around. So I'm just, I will always
leave it there. Like for
me, I can have that comparative right there. But then when you see LeBron James coming like this, you're like, well, there's more reason.
Sure,
I can't take him seriously.
If that's what you want to look at. For me, the stuff you said before holds more weight than what LeBron does on Twitter. What LeBron does and says on Twitter to me has almost no impact on what his greatness is. The scoring title stuff to me, that does matter. Because to be that great for that long is no one is doing that almost ever again. Like we may be dead before the next person passes LeBron in a scoring title. I mean, it's just for not just scoring title, for the most points in the history of the league. That's to me the MVPs. That stuff matters too. Not more than the championships, but they also matter. But what you do on social media,
if you are the MVP or you are the king in your own mind, you don't have to retaliate. I'm sorry.
I do not disagree with you.
I'm sorry. He just doesn't need to do that.
He does.
That is so small. You know what I mean?
I'm
insignificant.
And
minute.
That's why.
And that brings him down to a level of minuteness.
If I made a list of NBA players I'd like just to hang out with, LeBron's not anywhere on the list. He's passive aggressive, and that is the kind of stuff where I'm like, I don't know if I'd hang out with you, man. But in terms of as a basketball player, while I agree that is small of him to do, I just can't bring myself to care in that particular evaluation because I'm just worried about what you do on the court. And I don't know, dude's had an incredible career and I've enjoyed that.
For me, it's one more reason. He keeps giving us reasons. And
I'm saying
to
that
me,
should that be
that's
a reason?
It does apply. It does apply for me. I mean, but listen, the argument was over with the argument I made and you just acknowledged. The way LeBron has done his career and what Jordan was able to do, where he was at. You could do the same thing with Kobe. So yeah, the argument is already over, but this ain't helping. That's all I'm saying. 888-368-1580. CK says, I didn't realize Jay-Z stuttered so much. It's a problem he's been working on. Shut up. NFL Blitzer says, the two things I hate, Jay-Z and LeBron. Why do you hate Jay-Z?
What's wrong with Jay-Z?
Is it because he got Beyonce and you didn't? I mean, I can see a lot of people maybe have a problem with him.
He might be the greatest rapper ever. I mean, what's wrong with Jay-Z?
Yeah, listen, NFL Blitzer, he's got 99 problems and you ain't one.
Yeah.
Baker's Cocky Hen says LeBron was pretty silent in social media after he ditched out on that pizza shop opening in LA. LeBron is a politician when it comes to social media. I don't know what he's talking about. Boomer Sooner says Randy is hot. It's windy. Can I get a cold beer, please?
Absolutely.
Jeffco, is this Margarita Monday? No, it's Beer Monday. Guess what? It's Beer Tuesday, Beer Wednesday, Beer Thursday, Beer Friday. And if you want to get really exotic, it's whiskey every day.
Okay. I was about to say, Whiskey Wednesday is a thing.
There we go.
Got it.
I don't need a damn day. I don't need a damn day. I don't need a drinking game. Give me the damn drink. And I'm happy. That's it. That's all we need. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kiss the Cook says nothing like a strong cup of sun brewed iced coffee to go with chili con queso enchiladas, French fried potatoes, and green chili refried beans. Oh yeah.
Boy,
Happy
that sounds like
Monday.
a good night. Yeah. Wow.
Happy Monday, Belinda. Fish Tank says, well, at least Donnie still has the Minnesota Wild. Oh, wait. This just in. They also have been eliminated.
Damn.
What about the Minnesota? What's the WNBA team? The Lynx.
Lynx.
What is
Well,
it?
the WNBA season hasn't started yet, so
there's that.
they're
Sorry.
not
Yeah.
eliminated from anything yet.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So you
Preseason
know,
football starts soon.
when Donnie is kind of quiet, he still has a game in there somewhere. But now Donnie is on Twitter and on the text line. He's just going to be lashing out at everything and everyone because he has nothing left. Nothing. Kiss the Cook says, in case you missed it, Bruin Panther Game 7 was epic. Goes to show you, no matter how record-breaking your season is, you can end up going fishing at any time. Yeah, absolutely. I felt bad for Berg on that one, but he didn't complain. He wasn't sad. Wilbur says Cinco de Mayo. Yes, I can see you know how to spell it correctly. That only took you an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's not yet. This is Uno de Mayo.
Well, no, remember we gave him the penalty for spelling it so badly.
Right. Yeah,
he did
yeah.
finally get it right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's good.
Yeah.
The Jet says, welcome back, Randy. You need to have a talk with Jeffrey when you're gone. He fills the studio up with Lakers and Dodger fans. He was making the fourth emission sick.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's Ralph, and that's a normal reaction.
Yeah. I take special medication.
Yeah.
Baker's Cocky Hens. No, it's not. Keon's Lady says, we've known that LeBron has been a prima donna for at least a decade. To be fair, I did that for her. Most people for super successful in their fields are also prima donnas. I've heard it said that surgeons have to be egotistical a-holes in order to have the confidence to cut open a person. LeBron is in the same category as Frank Lloyd Wright and Jack Nicholson. Wow, that's a lot to dissect right there.
It is, but you know what? That is an actual sports text. So
did you send that to her?
No,
I
I
thought
did
she
not.
didn't care about sports.
I
remember sitting there at Randy's get together, and she said, "I don't care about sports."
She is trying to care because I care, which I appreciate.
Oh, really? That's really nice to see
do.
the effort.
They do actually
Isn't that
appreciate that.
nice?
Yeah.
I didn't know Frank Lloyd Wright was a egotistical a-hole. I'm surprised at that. Jack Nicholson, no, I see.
Yeah, no, that's it's
Well,
very visibly apparent.
You, you see how they got a hand truck and wheeled him out for that Lakers game the other day? My God.
Yeah.
Father Time, undefeated.
Yeah. Wow.
Fifth letter says Lakers versus Suns in the Western Conference Finals. Let's talk that into existence. Good luck tonight, Suns fans. I would love to see that happen. I don't pretend to know exactly what's going to happen. I can't even think about the Lakers. I got to think about just these Nuggets.
And you know what?
Just
as much
tonight's
as
game against the Nuggets.
That's
all we got to think about.
Ralph's doing a lot of talking, but Ralph shouldn't be worried about Nuggets or Suns either. They got the red hot Steph Curry and Warriors coming up. So
I am going to call it. The Warriors will win that series. And I'm not just saying that to bug Ralph.
No, I think so too. LeBron James has been held to 22 points a game, against the Warriors, which is good, but that's the best in the league in terms of guarding specifically LeBron. Like, that team knows how to handle him from the times they ran into him in the finals in Cleveland. So when it comes to facing LeBron James in the playoffs, these Golden State Warriors have as much experience as anybody.
Hey guys, what is today's date? It's May 1st, right?
Cinco
so it's about time.
de Uno.
Say about time for the brow to go down again, isn't it? He's got another injury here in just a few minutes, doesn't he?
Say that. That's me.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, I would expect about every 2 weeks, right?
Randy is due. You could set your watch to it.
He is due.
I kind of think it's going to happen anytime.
It just does. I'm not. I don't want it to happen. I actually like Anthony Davis.
Sprained ankle, getting off the bus for game 1. He'll be out for the next 2, 3, and 4 games.
He's a great player. He seems like a legitimately cool dude, but he does always get hurt. Like, that's just a thing that happens.
Yeah, listen. I get uncomfortable wishing injury on anybody, and I know you're not wishing it on them, but I feel like if we start thinking about that too much. It'll start being.
You mean it's like a bad karma, bad mojo?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Durant, who is sort of due, if you know what I mean. Don't want any of that mojo.
You keep Kevin Durant's name out of your mouth.
I'm just saying, if you don't want that mojo, don't think about that for the other team.
I didn't think about it. I just brought up a legitimate point. Isn't it about time on the clock for AD to go down with something?
I suppose the positive spin on that could be, wow, he stayed healthy for a really long time.
I know what Randy's up to here. I know what he's up to here. Fifth letter says, Jeffrey, if the Lakers win their series, let me co-host a show like Raven Kid. No. He says, my sports knowledge is second to none. Well, that's really not the point, fifth letter. The point is Raven Kid won that in a bet in a certain situation. I'm not betting with you about Lakers and Suns Western Conference finals or anything like that, because it's too early for that. Let's talk when we get closer. And even then, probably no. Baker's Cocky Hen says, every great athlete isn't a great person. Not. There's some really great athletes, and every great person is an athlete. But we can all agree on this. Burn in hell, Lakers. Oh, yeah. I see. We can agree on that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, Golden State Warriors are a much better team than the Lakers. They're going to get swept. Wait. Who's getting swept? The Lakers? Again, punctuation was important here. Who's getting swept? Heavy Metal Maniac. NFL Blitzer says Jay-Z is like Ja Morant, a fake wannabe gangster.
Wow.
Jay-Z has billions of dollars.
Yeah.
He could be anything he wants to be.
Well, and Jay-Z's not a wannabe gangster anymore.
He could be Batman.
Because he was actually one and then made enough money to not do that. That is usually the goal of.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay-Z, why aren't you Batman?
Yeah.
You've got the money to be Batman. Why aren't you Batman?
I bet he is.
I think anybody who has billions of dollars, if you're not Batman, you're evil.
I think it's probably because he's 53 and being Batman is not good for your knees.
It doesn't stop.
That's what the movie said anyway.
Hey, Jay-Z, why aren't you Iron Man? Because that's all mechanical.
Yeah,
your knees don't matter if you're.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he has the multiple billions though to make a suit.
Stark Industries. I could see now. Jay-Z Industries, right?
Yep. Heavy Metal Maniac says Golden State is going to sweep the Fakers. Okay, now we've got your answer on that. Fifth letter says Raiders losing to the Cards and the Colts. What does that have to do with? What are you talking about? We got to take a break. When we come back, everybody wants to buy a soccer team. I mean, I don't, but a lot of other billionaires do. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. all the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
O'Reilly. Get your vehicle ready for spring during Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pro X1 exterior cleaning and detailing products provide professional results and show quality shine for your vehicle. Right now, pick up Pro X1 Snow Foam Car Wash 2 for just $15. See store for details. Pro X1 exclusively at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
It's the final days to shop Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot to get your kitchen clicking. With top brand appliances from Frigidaire, like a new refrigerator with sealed crisper drawers to keep your produce fresher longer. Or a dishwasher with its unique blade spray arm for better water coverage that reaches every corner. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away, too. Final days to save up to $500 on select Frigidaire kitchen appliances during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, and it's May 3rd.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Joan, enjoying some me time up on the rim. This is Simon and his friends paddling the Salt River. And this is Brad. Brad is, well, no one knows where Brad is. What they all have in common is that they went to azmbdnow.gov to quickly and easily renew their registration or 30 other services. So go to azmbdnow.gov and get more time to enjoy all the things you love.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Pleasure here on 1580 The Fanatic, and everybody's buying soccer teams now, man. Ryan Reynolds and that guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they bought a team in England. They got promoted actually just recently. So, good timing for them. It's called Wrexham or something.
Yeah.
And then, and then everybody's trying to get involved in buying football teams and this and that. And then Ryan Reynolds comes back around and says, not enough that I own a soccer team. I now want to own the Ottawa Senators. So he's got a group of people together and he's ready to buy the Ottawa Senators. And then here comes Snoop Dogg saying, not so fast. Snoop Dogg now has joined Nico Sparks in their bid to try to buy the Ottawa Senators. So here's the problem. It'll never work for Snoop Dogg because Ryan Reynolds and his people, they got all their stuff together. There's no way Snoop Dogg, if there's any paperwork that needs to be filed on time, I just don't see it happening. You know what I mean?
There's probably something there.
A lot of smoking going on there. So
self-admitted.
Filings will be turned in late. He'll show up and they're like, all right, where's your paperwork? And they'll hand him like a Denny's menu. Here you go. And it's like, what? I'm not saying Snoop Dogg is dumb. I'm saying he's stoned out of the bejesus. That's it. That's what I'm saying.
He's been smoking for so long that just I don't even know how he gets high anymore. I mean, what would kill a normal man? He just tanks right on through.
Believe me, he's figured it out. But even JJ Watt, he's like trying to buy a soccer team, or he did buy a soccer team or something like that. I mean, it's like all these rich people just like, I want to own a team. What kind of team? Don't care. Give me a team. So Tom Brady's like, pick a ball. No. What are
Well,
you
yeah,
doing,
the
man?
pickleball thing is curious to me. But
Pickleball.
I will
That's
say
the tax write-off if I've ever seen one.
the soccer team stuff makes a lot of sense because what everybody is realizing is sports teams, at least for now, always appreciate in value. They almost never lose value. So you can put your money there, own the team, and then, in 20 years, if you want to take it out, it's going to be more than what you put in. And with the NFL, if you're not one of the few people with billions upon billions upon billions and also friends who have that, you're not buying an NFL team. But the
You could
soccer
buy
teams are
into
there.
one. You could probably find one to buy into.
Yeah. But if you buy into one of these soccer teams, it's a lower buy-in. You can be a greater majority of the partnership. And then, in 10 to 20 years, you'll have a greater share of what that is.
Yeah, I'm going to pass.
Like the Wrexham thing that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney did, that is something where they've spent the money to get the players to make that team good. And if they can get it up to a certain point, just the fact that they're in the top division will make them a ton of money.
You know what I want to do? I don't want to buy a soccer team. I don't want to buy a hockey team. I don't want to buy an NFL team. I want to buy a little league team.
Just because you like baseball so much, the
I don't
purity
know,
of the game, or
don't know that that's possible, Jeffco.
It's not possible. Why can't I buy a little league team?
I don't think you can buy a little league team. You can sponsor a little league team.
Well, sponsor, buy, same thing.
No, well, there's a sponsor, but you cannot buy, you cannot own.
Am I allowed to make any decisions on all right, I want to trade that kid over to that team? I'm tired of his whiny ass.
I don't think you can do that. Nope.
There's no. Nothing.
Okay,
like
I don't
that.
want to. I don't want to own a little league team anymore.
All right, then.
Well,
probably because you can't own a little league team.
I mean, what would we want to buy if we could? What would we buy?
I would buy a minor league baseball team because that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but that doesn't make a whole lot of money, man. There's a problem making money with that.
Yeah, it just depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to just have a blast, I agree with Randy.
You can have nickel beer night. You can have rat races. You can have RC car truck races, things like that in between
Around the
innings.
bases. Yeah,
It's a hell of a lot of fun. Bring the kids out
All
on
right.
Sunday, let them run the bases. You see what I'm saying?
I bet if we bought a minor league team, we could probably make it profitable as long as we kept it crazy, like those banana boat boys and wherever they're from.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of minor league team I'm talking about. Yeah.
Well, I think we could do better. I think we could. We're weird enough that we could do better than that.
Oh, absolutely. Bring a doctor to the ballpark night.
Yeah. Somebody Google. Let me go to Google. Here, don't worry about it, Keon. I'll Google how much to buy a minor league baseball team. Oh, not team. All right,
team.
Holy crap!
Wow,
$6 million to $50 million for a minor league team.
Oh, come on, that's pocket change for you, Jeffco.
Well, I know, but still, it's minor. 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 Shouldn't be that. It should.
I mean, you're buying the whole operation.
Yeah. Lock, stock, and barrel. Or baseball bats, balls, and helmets. You're buying the whole thing.
Well, what's more fun? Single A, double A, triple A?
I think double A is more fun because you get more talented to double A level and you can still have fun.
All right, hold on here. I'm going to put in how much those cost. Double A. Oops. Double A. Carry the 3. There we go. It just says the same stuff again. Yeah. Wait, here we go. A team costs anywhere from 8 to 20 million. Double A teams 6 to 15. Single 2 to 8. Oh, now I've lost it. Here we go. Single A. Rookie league teams 600,000, 750,000.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Well, why not? What's wrong with the rookie league team?
That's no fun. Rookie league. Yeah,
so
everybody's coming and going. It's more instructional ball than it is anything else. You don't have the stadium. You don't have the free popcorn night. You can't get out there and bring your dog to the ballpark. You can't do all these fun promotions.
Why not?
Not in rookie league ball. It's like instructional league.
What do they stop play and say, okay, bend your
They don't
knees?
have
I mean, what-
stadiums. They play. It's like a spring
Oh.
training facility. They're going out there and they're playing on the spring training facilities. You don't even have your own stadium. You can't even have any fun.
No. All right. Well, we're going to need between $6 and $15 million to do this, I guess.
All right. We'll start taking up an offering right now,
and then we can have fun.
And then you can have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do we start a GoFundMe?
Yeah, I think we should help Jeffrey and Randy buy a minor league baseball team.
Well, there's another problem. How far away from where the Diamondbacks are can a minor league team be?
Oh, I don't know what
can we have a double-A team in this area?
Why not? We could be in Prescott.
Well, I feel like that they won't allow it because the Diamondbacks are right there. Isn't there a
We can
rule
be in
about that?
Prescott. They used to be the Diamondbacks had a AAA team down in Tucson.
Yeah.
The
Is there enough
Sidewinders
people?
down in Tucson.
I think we'd have to be in Flagstaff because there's not enough people in Prescott.
Oh, in Prescott? Are you kidding me? Prescott Valley, those guys there, Dewey, all those people come out for baseball.
Well, sure, they'll
Especially
come
minor
out,
league baseball.
But I think you want to be near the biggest population clump,
No.
don't you? I love Prescott. Don't get me wrong. I'm fine if we just do it in Prescott.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to feel about it. We'd have to build a ballpark. How many people should be able to put in this ballpark?
Oh, yeah. Dude, probably 10,000.
Do we get Prescott to build it for us?
Hell yes.
I don't know. I don't think
Baseball
they're going
owners
to.
now, man. We don't pay out any money.
I don't think they're going to fall for that.
Sure,
I don't
they
think
will.
they're going to.
You
This
kidding
seems like
me?
a very conservative town, and they might be like, "Well, if you think it's such a good idea, you build it."
Is something somehow more conservative than baseball, though?
How much does it cost to
baseball.
build a small
Community will-
stadium for 10,000
Community will
people?
get out there. And I don't know. Community will get out there and build it.
Hmm.
Let's say $5 million.
5 million.
5 to 10 million. 5 to 10 million.
Jeez, I mean, we're only going to spend $6 million on the team.
Hey, listen, it's going to be an A-class facility. We're going to have lots of fun here. We've got to have the water park. Okay.
Wait, what?
We got to have the sand volleyball courts out there.
All right, sand
we
volleyball is fine, but
we
there's
gotta
no
have
water
the,
park.
We got to have all the space for the concessions. You've got to have all the concessions. You got to have the churros. We got to have the corn dogs. We got to have the popcorns. Hell, lots of popcorn machines. I mean, all kinds of popcorn machines.
No,
we
there's
got to
usually
have
lots
hot
of those,
dogs.
yeah. I
And we
mean-
got to have brats out there. And Heavy Metal
yep,
Maniac needs to come out and head up our concessions department out there. See what I mean?
Hey, listen, all great ideas, but you're not allowed in the business meetings. I just want you to you can be in the planning meetings, but I think we need to keep
I can't be in the business meetings.
your creative thought processes are better served in conference room B, where we will have the planning meeting. You have
Nobody
very
ever-
many good ideas, and I don't want you discouraged by the bean counters.
Everybody never goes into conference room B. You do
Well,
that to
I'll-
me all the time at the station.
I'll go in there and talk to you about ideas. Just let me check my schedule. 888-368-1580. NFL Blitzer says, buy the Arizona Rattlers. Well, somebody already owns those
No.
guys.
No,
Yeah.
we don't want them.
Dropping the Soap says, I'd like to buy a women's lingerie football team. How much does that run? Can't be much. They don't spend anything on uniforms.
More than you
Against
can
the-
afford.
Against the Spread says, just ask Congress what to buy if you want to be rich. They're batting 1,000 with their stock picks. It's amazing how they never lose on a trade. I bet their dogs crap golden nuggets. All right. Well, thank you for that. Mr. Pink Eye says, why don't you buy a wiffle ball team? Do they have those?
It's not a moneymaker. It's a lot of fun, though.
The balls are cheap. Big George says, any minor league team in the Arizona Diamondbacks zone of influence needs their approval, and you're unlikely to get it. Even Tucson lost their AAA team. Well, that sounds like they're bullies.
Because it was in Tucson.
Yeah.
We're going to be in Prescott, George.
Well, or Flagstaff.
No.
What's that?
No.
CK says Prescott Valley has an indoor football league team.
See, there you go. They also have an ice hockey team, which is a minor league for the Kings, I believe.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, I believe you can't have a minor league team from another team that is not based from Arizona. I'd love this ice cold beer of this thing, but I don't think it's plausible because Arizona has the rights. Fifth letter says you definitely won't be able to have a pride night up in Prescott. Yeah. I think you'd have I'm surprised who showed up for pride night, though. You know what I'm saying? I think there's plenty of people with pride up there. You just haven't figured it out yet.
Oh boy.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll finish up what's on the text line. But we got to talk some football here eventually. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
A lot of Canadians at Prescott, though.
O'Reilly. Get your vehicle ready for spring during Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pro X1 exterior cleaning and detailing products provide professional results and show quality shine for your vehicle. Right now, pick up Pro X1 Snow Foam Car Wash 2 for just $15. See store for details. Pro X1 exclusively at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today, during Staples' free Tech Take Back, Rewards members get $10 in Staples Rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617, limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Phoenix area attorneys, Scott Trout, licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Georgia only. CordellCordell.com.
It's the final days to shop Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot to get your kitchen clicking. With top brand appliances from Frigidaire, like a new refrigerator with sealed crisper drawers to keep your produce fresher longer. Or a dishwasher with its unique blade spray arm for better water coverage that reaches every corner. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away too. Final days to save up to $500 on select Frigidaire kitchen appliances during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, and it's May 3rd.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Will Shakespeare here. Back in my day, I invented over 1,700 slang words like swagger, bedazzled, and my personal favorite, besmirch. But even I have trouble understanding slang words like yeet or bougie or
this is fire.
Actually, it is extremely smooth Shakespeare vodka.
Okay, boomer.
See what I mean? But there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe the first time you try it.
So lit.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So lit.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix, 99.3 FM.
And K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
hour.
Quiet, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock. You're on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live at the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And we were trying to figure out if we were going to buy a team. You know, I don't want to buy a soccer team. And we thought, well, maybe it'd be fun to buy a minor league baseball team. And Randy thought maybe double A, but that's between $6 and $15 million. And then it's another problem is where would we put it? Because there are rules that involve the Diamondbacks. What is the Diamondbacks sphere of influence, as Big George put it? Is there like 100 miles, 150 miles? How does that even work? I'd still like to know more about this. I don't want to give up our dreams, Randy, but I think we need to, be realistic here. Big George says, isn't conference room B where Randy goes to, let out some gas, Well, that's why one of the reasons people don't like to go in there, Randy.
No, that's not the conference room B. That's that's the production room.
Oh, okay. Cardinal Art says, Randy, beer me, please. We could do that. He says, what the hell are the Cardinals doing? Not picking up Simmons' 5-year option. They draft him, to watch him blossom elsewhere? Same old Cardinals. Yes, Cardinal Art, we are going to get to that here in a little bit. We're going to talk about all of our drafts here momentarily. Donnie says, plenty of land in Queen Creek for a stadium. Yeah, but it's too close for the Diamondbacks, I think. That's the rules. Waldo says that Prescott lost their hockey team a few years ago.
Oh, they did?
I had no idea. I had no idea they ever had one. Heavy Metal Maniac says, hey, I also think and believe that if the Oakland A's do move to Las Vegas, then the Reno Aces may have to change affiliates because the Reno Aces are a minor league affiliate of the Diamondbacks, their AAA team. Yeah, what a mess.
We could be an independent league team. We don't have to be affiliated with the MLB. Like the Savannah Bananas. That's just like an independent league team.
Who would we play?
Other independent league teams.
Well, you're going to have to find us an independent league. Well, it's starting to sound like a bad idea.
No, I think there's all kinds of. There's the California League. I mean, there's the East Coast League. There's the New York State League, the Florida State League. There's all sorts of leagues out there that we could affiliate with.
You realize how much money we're going to have to spend on traveling?
Yeah, we buy a bus.
Maybe we just work it out where we only play home games. We forfeit.
That's a possibility.
We forfeit all the away games.
Forfeit half.
If you own the team, you don't have to go to every game.
No.
Right? So you just don't go to the away games.
Yeah.
Dropping the soap. To answer your question, go back 3 texts, and the answer is yes. 888-368-1580. Against the Spread says, what's the price range for International League baseball team? Well, that's very low level. I don't know.
Do we want to go to do we want to go outside the border?
I don't. I got warrants in all sorts of countries. Raven Kid says Prescott Valley also has the Suns G League team, the Northern Arizona Suns.
See, is that Prescott Valley? I thought that was in Flag. That's in Prescott Valley. Okay.
Mr. Pink Eye says you can all buy a Mario Kart game team. Do they have that where you just ride around and I don't know? This is starting to get worse.
Mario Karts.
I think our dreams may be on their way to being dashed on the rocks of reality, Randy.
It always happens to us, Jeffrey.
Yeah. So, all right, let's just spend the rest of the hour talking football. Okay.
All right.
I'll
make us feel better. I probably.
I wonder what the minimum amount is you could buy into a team. Do they have a minimum amount? Like a
minor league baseball team?
Any team at all, where I could just be a minority owner.
Well, you could, but then you don't get the benefit of calling any of the shots.
No, well, that's no fun. Nurse Scratchit says could be a baseball version of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Nah.
Yeah,
you talk about travel costs.
I don't want to leave home. All right, so let's just get to football. So remember when everybody was like, "Oh my God, they're going to trade DeAndre Hopkins on draft night," and then they're like, "Oh, they didn't trade him on draft night. Oh, they might trade him on another draft. No, they're not trading him at all." And now DeAndre Hopkins is saying, "Hey, who said I wanted to go? Who said I wanted to leave? I thought you did. Didn't he?
No."
Did he request a trade?
Buda Baker requested a trade. DeAndre Hopkins never asked for a trade. It was just
assumed because of his contract?
Because of his contract, the Kyler Murray injury, and the fact that you have a new general manager and coach they weren't the ones that brought him in. It was assumed that, there's the logical thing to do here financially would be to move on your receiver going into his 30s when the star quarterback isn't going to be able to throw him the ball in the last year of the contract. So if you think you can renegotiate with him down the road, well, then that's fine. I don't really see any problems there. But until that point, it just seemed like this was the direction things were headed. But he was never the one that said it. He never said
you're right. He says, I see everybody telling me to stay. He's like, wait, I never said I wanted to go. He said, I'm out here working, baby. So, all right. I guess for some reason I thought that he had been talking to the Cardinals saying, hey, I want to get the hell out of here.
No.
Well, that's good to know.
He was asked where would he go if he got traded, and he said he'd like the Bills, but he never said trade me. He didn't ask for it. He wants to be here.
Well, I guess this is welcome news for the Arizona Cardinals. He's going to make 20 mil this year and like 15 million next year. I'm rounding up, so shut up, math nerds. But still, that's pretty good money for a wide receiver that's 30. And he's still elite level, isn't he?
He's still at the top of his game, and he was asked to do a lot of things in the last system that I don't even know if they are his strengths. He's just so good. It doesn't really matter what you asked him to do. He could go out there and do it. So, yeah, I think that, if he really wants to be here, I wouldn't run him off.
You get this. I get this feeling. I shouldn't say you, but I get this feeling that just because we're a Cardinal fan, we expect the team to listen to what we're wanting. The fans should be able to call the shots. And let me remind you, we're fans of a team because we like the team. We don't own the team. There's an owner. His name is Michael Bidwell. He owns the team. Then you got a general manager. That's that Osenfort guy who, in my opinion, did pretty good on draft night. Then you got this new head coach coming in here and all this new, assistant coaches and all that business. So this team may let Budda Baker walk. They may not do a new contract on him because this is a new regime. DeAndre Hopkins already has a contract in place, but listen, if they come along with a good trade offer for DeAndre Hopkins, hell yes, they're going to move him.
Well, you better hope they don't, because he might be the lone bright spot in your offense.
Who is going to throw to him?
Whoever is there is going to be looking for him, and he's your only chance. I didn't say he's the savior. I didn't say he's going to make some quarterback elite. I'm just saying that is your best offensive player here, right now, period.
I think it's pretty clear from how they operated in the draft that they want to retool and reload and add as much talent to as many position groups as humanly possible. And because they racked up on as many picks as they possibly could maneuvering. And so if you're going to operate that way, maybe you're not the one picking up the phone shopping DeAndre Hopkins, but if someone picks up the phone in desperation and calls you and you've got him over the coals, you would be insane not to make the trade. Screw next year. This is not a project that's going to be finished in a year. Get the picks if someone's going to offer you insane picks, or young players who are going to be, in their mid-20s by the time their contracts are done. Like that, that's the kind of stuff that the Cardinals need to get a hold of right now. As much talent as they possibly can.
Yeah, I would agree.
888-368-1580. Pinocchio says, a happy May Day. Sorry, had to check out for a bit. Did any owner operators check in with the plausibility of a sprained vagina? No, nobody did. I was surprised at that. So I guess that's probably not a real thing, Pinocchio. Raven Kid says, you guys can always own an esports team. Gonna stop you right there.
No. No.
Esports is not sports. Esports is not sports.
They're video
should be called
games.
E-games.
They're just video games. There's a word for what esports are. They're video games. You can do it competitively. I don't care if there's people show up and watch you in a stadium or how much money there is involved.
Don't make it sports.
It's video games, and that's fine. Not even bashing it, but it's not a sport.
It's like darts. Darts is not a sport. Darts is a game.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, it's even on our list here. Darts is not a sport. On our list here, esports, not a sport. In fact, they have the word sport in it, does not make it a sport. Sheriff Tom says, hey, wouldn't you guys prefer a double D team over a double A team? I see what you did.
Wow, Sheriff Tom.
That didn't. The Sheriff Tom of all people did not expect that from.
Oh, I expected that.
Maybe I should have, but I didn't.
He's not wrong.
I was surprised.
Against the Spread says, I think the Cardinals had a very good draft. They started filling holes in their roster and focused on planning for the future. With Murray coming back late in the season, it's likely they're going to tank and draft number 1 overall next year and utilize their newly acquired picks. And that also, sir, if that is true and the Cardinals have the number 1 pick, now you're looking down the barrel of Caleb Williams, aren't you?
Caleb Williams. If for some reason you don't end up in that top spot, Drake May, who's supposed to be the second quarterback in in next year's draft is awesome. Also,
you of all people would say it's crazy to draft a quarterback. You have Kyler Murray.
well, then to me, it's like if your plan is to move on from Kyler, like that's like I wouldn't keep them both. If you're going to draft the guy, then that means
so
you should move Kyler. You should shop him. Yeah, I wouldn't keep both of them.
Blissful Hayes says Randy, the great Blau, is going to be throwing to D-Hop. Blau.
I almost want to get sick right now.
That's what it sounds like too, doesn't it? Blau. All right, so we all enjoyed the draft night on Thursday. We checked in periodically to see what our teams were doing with the draft over the weekend. I don't know, Keon, did you watch a lot of actual draft footage coverage during the weekend, or did you watch other things?
You know, I watched a decent amount. I didn't sit there and watch every single pick, but I had the TV on in the background and stuff, and it's like watching some of these teams move. It's just fascinating stuff. I really liked what the Cardinals did, especially. I mean, the way that Monty Ossenfort handled that draft, at least as far as understanding value and understanding that you just need a lot of picks. You need to give yourself as many lottery tickets as you can. That was masterful to me.
I'm interested to find out, Jeffrey, what did you think? Because I was not available on draft night. We already know I was at a secluded location waiting for the call from the NFL that never came. But what was your thoughts on how the new Cardinal regime handled themselves on? I guess I should say it differently. How they went about the draft.
They started out looking like clowns. Before anything even happened, Awesome Fart had to apologize to the Cardinals, and they had to do some hanky trade with the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Because he had tampered with Gannon before he was supposed to. So that right there, you're like, dear God. And I thought they were about to lose that first draft pick. When I first saw that, I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, oh no, it's a slap on the wrist a little bit further down. But after that, gotta say, what was that?
I said, because everybody does it. It's just,
they just happened to get caught.
He got caught. So now you gotta say sorry publicly. And then the NFL is going to give you your little fake punishment, and then you move on.
I remember some movie Kevin Kline was playing a Frenchman. I don't remember which one it was. But he said, to cheat is French. To get caught is American. And that's kind of what made me think of Awesome Fart during that moment. Okay. But outside of that, I felt like, the very first pick they made was a good one. I mean, it was absolutely what we would scream for. Offensive line. And that's exactly what he did.
Offensive line, and not just offensive line, but to trade back to get the first and third round pick from next year.
Right. More picks.
Yeah. So even though when they moved up in this draft again to go get that tackle, get Paris Johnson, because they thought he was the best guy, you still have picks for next year. You have the Texans pick. Are the Texans going to be good? I like CJ Stroud. I don't think he's transforming that franchise overnight. So you'll have a very high Texans pick next year as well.
So, and the whole thing trying to sort out some things, right? I was trying to see, all right, how did our teams do? And I realized that the NFL, they're just being idiots because everybody got an A except for the Detroit Lions. Everybody got an A at NFL.com for a draft grade. And then I was like, okay, let's take a look at our place, CBS. And CBS had a little more variety, but still, I think they overpumped how good everybody's drafts were. Sporting News, however, it was one I went with. Keon, who would you go with for an accurate draft grade? Who would you like? I respect those guys' opinion.
I would go with Pro Football Focus.
All right, pull that up if you can and see their draft grades, and then you can chime in with what they say about these teams. Because I was looking at NFL.com, they gave a grade for each day, and they said day 1, day 2, day 3, A for the Arizona Cardinals. CBS said B+. Sporting News says you got a big fat D. And but when you look at the haul for the Arizona Cardinals, Paris Johnson, day 1, offensive tackle. Then the next day from LSU, you got BJ from LSU, outside linebacker.
Ojulari.
And then next, Garrett Williams, the cornerback out of Syracuse. Then you got Michael Wilson, wide receiver out of Stanford. Is that guy any good?
He is a fantastic player when he's playing. He's hurt a lot.
Oh boy, street clothes.
So that's a guy that's a gamble. That's clearly a gamble. You're saying, okay, this guy's got 4.5 speed. We're just going to see if he can stay healthy.
And then they went after offensive line again with John Gaines II from UCLA. Is that a good get for your line, or is that just sort of like
that's a fantastic pickup to me? He's somebody who's athletically just very average, but in terms of experience, in terms of reliability as a guard, he's tremendous. I think that he's going to take some time, obviously, to get up to the NFL speed like everyone does. But once he does, I think he's someone that's actually going to be useful in that offensive line rotation.
And then, Randy, you got Clayton Tune, a quarterback from Houston. The hell is Clayton Tune? I never heard of him. Is he any good?
He was really good at Houston, and obviously he's not
fit the system.
He's not.
I mean,
he does, because he's very mobile. Runs well. He's an accurate passer. Again, he didn't play Power 5, competition. Let's see. I got that. He's 6'2".
There you go.
So that's somebody that's a developmental guy, and then maybe because of his mobility, if you're gonna go in the direction of sticking with Kyler Murray, that's a guy you can plug in the event that Kyler does get hurt again in the future.
All right, then rounding up the rest of your draft, Randy, you had Owen Pepeau, the inside linebacker from Auburn, Catrell Clark, cornerback from Louisville, and then Dante Stills, the defensive tackle from West Virginia. So what does Pro Football Focus say about the Cardinals draft?
It's an A+.
Wow. Okay. Do we all agree with this?
I do. I do also know that Pro Football Focus is going bigger in grade based on your process. What did you do? How did you value certain picks? And, the idea was the Cardinals moved around, got a ton of picks. And then with the picks that they were taking later on in the draft, the 5th round, 6th round, 7th round guys, they were just swinging on guys with high upside, high athleticism. So they're not all going to pan out, but one or two of them might, because they're just so physically gifted that you can teach them the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's good to hear you had a good draft and your new GM. It looks like he did pretty good stuff. And again, one of the things that you're looking at is right now you have an opinion about the draft, but it does not matter. Nothing matters until people start playing, practicing, OTAs, this, that, the other. You start to get a feel for, hey, wow, we got ourselves a good one. Or, oh my God, that one's a bust. And, you can't second guess when somebody drafts. You watch somebody draft and you look at what they're doing and you kind of go, all right, this guy has a clue. He knows what he's doing. But you also can't hold this against them, because any one of these guys ends up a bust. Any one of these guys ends up a genius. So you kind of look for the consistency. You kind of look for the vibe and the mindset. So Jonathan Gannon, I don't know how much input he had in what Awesome Fart was doing. By the way, Gannon wouldn't talk to anybody. The entire time during the draft, he wouldn't talk to the media. Even Bill Belichick talks to the media. And Aaron Gannon's like, no, I ain't talking to you guys. I think it's because he's a new coach and he didn't want to say something dumb. I think that's what it was.
Coach, and he already, just you can tell from the way that he does talk to the media, he's only talking to the media because they make him talk to the media. If he doesn't have to, he ain't doing it.
But also, maybe he's sitting there going, it's not my guy. Maybe Awesome Fart's doing all the picking and Gannon doesn't have any input at all, and he doesn't want to say anything.
I don't know about that.
That would be an absolutely dysfunctional front office to not
have you met Bill Bedwell? Michael Bedwell.
Okay, fair enough. But I'm saying these two guys Monty literally hired Jonathan Gannon. So if you hire a guy that you can't agree with,
you sit down, you shut up, and I'm going to draft what I want. I don't want to hear another word out of you. Another thing, you stay away from that media. You hear me? Stop crying.
Because I root for a team where the GM and the coach were not on the same page. Those draft picks don't turn out well ever. It just does not work. And I think that with this Cardinals regime, it does look like they're on the same page at least.
All right. Well, while we're at our commercial break, please look up the Colts, because I want to kind of take a look at my draft next. And then we'll look at the Washington Commandos, but also my test subject, just a litmus test, the Detroit Lions. That'll be fun. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs in the opening round saw the elimination of the Tampa Bay Lightning, the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Colorado Avalanche, the defending Cup champions, and the Boston Bruins, who won the President's Cup this season with 65 wins and 135 points. The Toronto Maple Leafs are now the favorites to win the Stanley Cup at plus 370, and the Edmonton Oilers are second at plus 400. The last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup were the Montreal Canadiens back in 1993, beating the Los Angeles Kings. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and best-selling author on safety and preparedness. The fact is, things are getting downright scary for everyone who's storing their wealth in the banks. We just saw the collapse of 3 major banks, and I would urge you to consider protecting your wealth ASAP. If even a tiny percentage of Americans attempt to withdraw their savings, we would see a collapse of the entire banking system, sending us into a modern-day Great Depression. Fortunately, there is a way for you to avoid this. It starts with contacting Advantage Gold. If you have an IRA or 401k, Advantage Gold can help convert those paper assets into physical gold and silver. This is the process that I recommend everybody use as a hedge against rapid inflation and to protect your retirement wealth from the banks. Take control of your financial safety today. Call 800-900-8000 to get your free gold investment kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Arizona offers thousands of helpful resources for service members, veterans, and their families. But navigating the system can be confusing and overwhelming. Call 866-4AZ-VETS to talk directly to caring people professionally trained to help you. Get connected to resources and benefits at no cost. Just call 866-4AZ-VETS now. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
Greg Clark Automotive trained and certified technicians, servicing the Valley for 45 years. Located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue. Highly rated by Google. Any of their foreign, domestic, or diesel work repairs come with a digital inspection, customer approval, and warranty, 2 years or 24,000 miles. State-of-the-art service, family touch. Contact us today at 602-246-2881 or online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention 1580 and get 10% off.
Now that the draft is in the books, it's that time of the season when the team gets together, to get acquainted.
Let's go. Practice time.
Summer means mini camps, OTAs. Then it's on to preseason. Keep yourself tuned to the station with all the insight, updates, and breaking news when you need to know about the NFL offseason. Remember, if it's the NFL, we talk about it. Your home for NFL news, games, playoffs, and Super Bowl in the Valley. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Stay Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I don't know if I understand this. I think I get it. CK says Tune is greater than Willow. I think Willow being little Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And Tune being this 6'2" quarterback they just picked up from Texas or wherever the hell, Houston. Whatever.
Houston, yeah.
Nondescript text in says, without knowing anything about the new brass at the Cardinals, I have a real strong feeling that they will trade or deal Kyler Murray as soon as possible. That is very possible. You know what? It's a good point because Michael Bidwell is sitting there. Nobody who had advocated for him is still there. He's got a giant paycheck sitting there, but I don't know how they get out from underneath that. Because here's the thing: if you're right about him, you are paying him that kind of money. You are stuck with him. If you are wrong about him, you are paying that much money. You are really stuck with him. I don't know how you get out of this now.
He's going to have to come back. He's going to have to prove that he's okay and that he can play football at a high level and return to form. And that's the only way that they're going to be able to shop him and get him if that is indeed the course they want to take. I mean, I thought getting Kyler Murray was going to be a boon for the Cardinals, and it turned out originally it was. The team
had a nice regular season.
And then all of a sudden the wheels just fell off the cart. And I don't know if it's all Kyler or if it was like partially Kyler, partially Cliff, or if it was all Cliff.
Shared dysfunction, I think, for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think so. And then you get these reports from different, sources saying Kyler's a prima donna and all this other business. Yeah, okay. So maybe he is. I don't know. But they're going to have, bottom line, for them to get rid of him, if that's the course they're going to take, he's got to prove himself again in the NFL.
Little update. Game 1 of the Eastern semifinals, the Celtics at halftime were up by 3 points over the 76ers, 66-63. Wow. I wish we were watching that game right now. Let's see. Big George says, hey, it looks like the Cardinals have finally found their quarterback. Oh, calm down. Against the Spread says you could unload Murray before the draft to a desperate team and lose Murray's contract. Pick up a great pick and take Williams from USC.
I don't think anybody's going to take that contract of Kyler Murray's.
Well, it depends because when are you saying this should happen? Before next year's draft?
I think he says right before next year's draft is what he said.
Well, it depends on how Kyler looks when he comes back. If Kyler looks good when he comes back, looks solid, it would be an easier sell for another team because the cap is going to go up. Okay,
Yeah,
the league makes money every year. The cap's going up. And the second thing is the next year of that contract is actually the worst part of it. So another team looking at that might go, okay, we can just survive that part of the contract. And then the worst of it, the part that really destroys your cap, that's already gone. We don't have to live through years and years and years of a bad contract.
Does Kyler have a no trade clause? Does he have a clause where he could choose where he goes? Because what might happen is if everybody agrees, hey, Kyler, we want to trade you. And he's like, all right, I'm down with that. And then, okay, you're going to have to restructure your contract with whoever you get traded to. They might be able to do the same money, but you're going to have to restructure it so it doesn't kill their cap when you first go. But I think Kyler has to be on board with this, doesn't he?
He does not. His
really?
extension did not come with a no trade clause.
F that little guy. You go.
So I still think you might have to rework the deal just if you want to get a trade partner. Someone's going to be like, listen, we're not making this trade without some kind of restructuring. So you're going to have to convince him to do that. But I don't see why that would be an impossible ask. The only thing would be if Kyler comes back and he looks good and you still don't want him, somebody's going to be suspicious as to why you don't want him. But, if he looks like he can play, I would be hard pressed to find anybody in the National Football League who has seen the best of Kyler Murray. And then if they see some more good stuff coming off a knee injury, would say no if they in fact needed a quarterback.
Well, it's a nice dream. But you know what? You'll know more about who these people are as the year goes. So your dream may come true against the Spread. But I don't know. This is what we got right now. This is what you're stuck with, right, Randy?
Yep, it's what we have. And David Blau.
Yeah, and David Blau, you trust. Kansas City had 312,000 damn people. I don't know if that's how many people they had night one, but they had 300,000 people crammed up. Now, Keon, you watched the draft. Did it seem like they had the same size crowds every single day, or did the crowds get a little more manageable around that fountain?
Yeah, no, I think it looked like they had the same crowds every single day, just maybe not the same people. But they were doing a whole lot of stuff, I think, to just make it an entertaining show more than anything. So once you get past the guys that most everybody knows, They were doing more, you know, there was literally I don't know the band that was playing, but there was literally like a concert. The picks are coming in, but on the stage there's like a band just going. They sounded pretty good actually, but there's just a band going crazy. So I think that they found ways to keep people engaged even beyond that. But I do think that just the way that the game of football is now, it's so big that there are a lot of people who are obsessed with the draft even on the second and third day.
Well, they were obsessed on the TV because they had what it was called a total unduplicated audience of 54.4 million viewers for the draft. That is incredible. You know, and nobody cares about the bands. When you're watching at home, all you care about is, ooh, I wonder who they're going to pick. And then, you know, if you're in person, you know, okay, find the bands, but it's the same kind of thing. So it is pretty incredible that you would have 54.4 million viewers for the draft. That is just astounding. You know, and listen, you know, if you combine a weekend's worth of NFL games, that ain't nothing, you know. And we're talking about all the games together in a weekend, because this is like saying all the games in a weekend. So if anything, that number is actually not too surprising, but it was an incredible draft. You have to admit, this was a really great draft compared to what's happened over the bunch of years preceding. Like 41 trades during this draft, 41 trades, people moving up, moving down, moving people. And that is a record, by the way, 41 trades. And it started that way and just kept on going. So that was a lot of fun. All right, so give me the bad news, Keon. What did Pro Football Focus give my Colts as a grade?
Actually, Pro Football Focus gave the Colts an A+ as well. They really,
you're damn right they did.
They really liked the Richardson pick. Obviously, I think that's a risk that I think everyone agrees that's a good risk to take. We don't know that it's going to work out, but as far as understanding why you would make a risk on someone that physically gifted, I mean, there's nothing on a football field he can't do. I was watching a highlight. He jumped over a guy like Josh Allen did once. I mean, it's if you hit on this pick, you have just drafted Josh Allen, except faster somehow. So yeah, I think that obviously carries a lot of weight. Another thing was that the guy that they took in the 4th round, the edge rusher out of Northwestern,
Blake Freeland from BYU. No, that's an offensive tackle.
He's a tackle. No, the
edge rusher. Oh God, I can't say his name.
Adetomiwa Adeborowe. He is a.
Can I just call Attaboy?
I mean, if you'd like. But he's somebody that fell to the 4th round that a lot of people thought could be a 2nd rounder. So the fact that he just confusingly was sitting there and the Colts took him also goes a long way, I think, with how the draft process went there. And so, yeah, I think you should feel pretty good about how the Colts did their draft, because again, they did a thing too where they got a crap ton of picks.
Yeah, the more picks than your guys' teams had. But did we make good use of them? I mean, if I shout out these names, you know, just you can see it in front of you, so I don't bore everybody. What do you think were the reals? You said Attaboy was a great one from Northwestern. Blake Freeland, offensive tackle. Mm-hmm. Is that a good one? Is that a really good one?
Yeah, that's a good pick. And I you know, look, Ballard knows offensive linemen. He does.
I was surprised we only got 2 in this draft with all these players
on picks before, but he doesn't miss on linemen very often. That is something.
What about Jake Witt from Northern Michigan? Was that a good one? He was like the last pick we had.
Yeah, no, it's a solid pick for where they took him. Yeah, it wasn't too much of a reach, but Ballard is always, you know, a guy that's going to play it safe with the picks. I don't think he's going to do what Austin Fort did, where Austin Fort looked at a bunch of athletes from basically round 4 on and said, you know what? Some of these guys have had injury stuff. Some of these people have had this, that, and the other, but I just need 1 or 2 of these players to really hit, and we might have something special. Ballard went the kind of other way where it was just like every time he took the right value pick at the right spot. I really like the 3rd round pick of Josh Downs, the receiver from North Carolina. He's one of those. And he is one of those guys that's on the smaller side, like everyone else in this draft. But he is fast as hell. And if you have something there with Anthony Richardson and that run game, you're going to have a lot of one-on-ones with somebody who's going to get behind the defense very often.
Well, Anthony Richardson should not be starting. It should be Gardner Minshew starting.
It just depends, because I've just seen this coaching staff. They did with Jalen Hurts. They could have had Jalen Hurts on the bench learning, but they said, no, we're going to get him out there with the NFL reps. We're going to make an offense that's more of a running quarterback offense. There's going to be a lot of designed runs. And then we're going to get him those opportunities to just get the feel of the game firsthand. And then as he grows as a passer, we'll reduce the designed runs and we'll add the dropbacks.
I was kind of looking forward to seeing Gardner Minshew play at least 5 or 6 games.
And they may do that. I have no idea how they're going to do it. I'm just saying that that's the way it went in Philadelphia when Steichen was the offensive coordinator there.
All right, so looking up and down the list real quick, because I don't want to waste too much time here. Anybody else stand out as like, wow, that was a good get?
Let's see. I think, we're still talking about Indy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
don't
think
have any other teams.
Yeah. No, I thought like you were just asking like overall for the draft. That's my bad.
No. Mine.
Yeah. Well, the tight end out of Miami, the Will Mallory, the 5th rounder there. I think he's going to be potentially pretty fun as a football player. He's got pretty decent hands, and then he's also someone who's a very good blocker, which I think if you want to be in a Ballard scheme or a scheme that the Ballard's drafted, you have to do that. There's no getting around it. But I liked him.
All right, well, fair enough. I liked my draft, and I was surprised. I guess maybe Ballard saw the same thing you did, Keon. And when I said, well, maybe we should get some O-line help, I know I've got a dinged up O-line, but once dinged, easily dinged again. So I thought, well, maybe we would concentrate a little bit on that to make sure we had better depth. So seeing only 2 offensive linemen go to the Colts in this draft was a little bit surprising, but Ballard must know more about their recovery than I do, of course. Irsay was saying, this was something that was interesting. Irsay was saying, we probably would have taken Anthony Richardson at number 1 overall if we had the first pick. Oh, you liar.
I don't know about that.
There's no way.
I don't necessarily, with Irsay, I don't know. Like honestly,
possible.
He's not a liar. You know what I mean? So he generally says exactly,
hey, buddy, we're going to take Levis we're going to trade up and get Levis. What do you guys think?
I think he knew that we know who he is. And so he just said that because he thought, well, that's going to make everybody freak out. And he was right. We all freaked out.
But he also said something that I didn't, I was like, wow, really? With that pick, he says, if the first 2 quarterbacks gone, but if somebody jumped up and took Richardson at 3, he says we would have taken Levis at 4. I don't know, man.
I don't know, but I can tell that I think the size was just a real issue for them. I really don't think that they
what she said.
Yeah, that's some phrasing. That's fair. That's fair.
Good call, Jeff. Go. Good call.
Thank you very much. Listen, hey, Keon, when we come back, I want to talk about your Washington Commandos. Some say good, some say bad. Find out what Pro Football Focus said, and I want to see what you say. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and best-selling author on safety and preparedness. The fact is, things are getting downright scary for everyone who's storing their wealth in the banks. We just saw the collapse of 3 major banks, and I would urge you to consider protecting your wealth ASAP. If even a tiny percentage of Americans attempt to withdraw their savings, we would see a collapse of the entire banking system, sending us into a modern-day Great Depression. Fortunately, there is a way for you to avoid this. It starts with contacting Advantage Gold. If you have an IRA or 401k, Advantage Gold can help convert those paper assets into physical gold and silver. This is the process that I recommend everybody use as a hedge against rapid inflation and to protect your retirement wealth from the banks. Take control of your financial safety today. Call 800-900-8000 to get your free gold investment kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, Showtime. How many streaming services are you paying for? If only there was a way to track and cancel subscriptions easily. Well, there is. Just download the Rocket Money app. Rocket Money organizes your subscriptions by due date and notifies you when something is coming up. From there, decide whether to keep it or cancel it with just a tap in the app. To find out more about Rocket Money, go to rocketmoney.com/save or download the Rocket Money app from the Apple app or Google Play stores. Rocket Money, the money app that works for you.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhalgh and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
ADOT's I-10 Broadway Curve Improvement Project is in the works. It's an 11-mile stretch of Interstate 10 between Loop 202 and I-17. When complete, your travel time through the area will be reduced. Access to Sky Harbor, retail centers, and colleges will be improved, and the region will be able to better support a growing economy and more. Keep up with the project and traffic updates at i10broadwaycurve.com and stay ahead of the curve. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
Hello, and thanks for listening. We strive to bring you the best programming available, and we have some exciting new shows coming for you later, like how Devin Booker beat the Kardashian curse, curling, that sport that takes big stones, and the musical hit Sing Along with LeBron. Be listening for them. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
David Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, doing a postmortem on our drafts. I'm sure you've done the same with yours. So here we are talking about Keon Rose's Washington Commandos. NFL draft grade was B. Sporting News draft grade was D. So where's Pro Football Focus on your draft?
It's a B on PFF.
Are you sure Pro Football Focus, are they one of those ones that gave everybody A, B, A, B, A, B, and nobody got a bad grade?
There were a lot of A's and B's, but they absolutely hated the Niners draft.
Okay.
That was a C minus. And they hated the Cowboys draft.
All right.
Which,
well,
to be fair, the Cowboys botched everything. Boy, that was fun to watch. That was
the NFL gave Lions a C plus. So I think that was their worst. So I don't know. I can't take you seriously if you don't give somebody a bad damn grade. So I want to know, what did you think of your draft? Where was it? A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I think it was a B draft. I think it was a solid draft, which has kind of been Ron Rivera, Marty Mayhew. Those guys have been very solid draft pickers, but I think that they're pretty clear on what their situation is in Washington right now. This is a win now season for them. They don't have to win a Super Bowl, but if they finish below 500 when the new owner takes over the team, he ain't keeping them. Then I think everybody in the building is aware of that. So when they drafted, I do think that there were points where they maybe reached for need instead of taking the best player available. But given the situation, I kind of understand. That being said, I like the draft. They addressed a lot of the stuff that needed to be addressed on that team, especially on the defensive side, especially in the secondary. With the first two picks, they went out and got a couple of corners that I really like. So right out of the gate, I was pretty happy about that. And then in the third round, they got Ricky Stromberg out of Arkansas, the center, who, again, offensive line is a big position of need for this football team. And then, they got a tackle with the next pick. Yeah. So they went and basically said, look, these are the positions we need. And those are the guys that we're going to go get. Did they reach on a couple of them? Yeah, they probably reached a little bit on Emmanuel Forbes, but I don't mind because I saw the guy play at Mississippi State. I saw him play in the SEC. He's a damn good football player. And, I'm happy to have him.
The end of your draft seemed like it was almost more clever than the beginning of your draft. Day three seemed like your guys were really firing on all cylinders there.
Yeah, I mean, with you go out and get KJ Henry, the edge rusher out of Clemson, who fell to that spot. To be honest, he's a better football player than a fifth rounder, in my opinion. But that's where he was. He was sitting there, so obviously you take him, and he can be just a little bit of insurance for you, just in case something doesn't work out with Chase Young, Montez Sweat. You've got two edge rushers you're about to have to pay. You might not even be able to pay both of them if they play very, very well. So maybe having somebody back there to develop is not a bad idea. And then, just add to the running back room. You know that Bieniemy wants to run the football and set up the pass games. So why not try and see if you can land a running back? Those are position groups that you can usually get and have good success with in the sixth round. And then the linebacker Andre Jones out of Louisiana, which was another position of need, but I don't know if he's going to be a starting linebacker.
What grade did the Pro Football Focus give the Lions? Because the NFL gave them a C+. CBS and Sporting News said an A, which I was kind of surprised at. Because let's face it, the Lions did some odd things, and it might be a thing where they were picking where we're like, wait, you already got that guy. Why are you picking that guy? Seemed like they drafted oddly.
I know they actually like the Lions a lot. Not in terms of what the Lions did. Like the Lions did weird things, but the players they got were good players.
Good players, but wait, maybe you didn't need that guy for.
Yeah, like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a fantastic running back. There's no way that anybody had him at 12. So you're bidding against yourself. Like you really couldn't trade out of 12. I find that difficult to believe. And you to get to maybe even 20, and all of a sudden you're not reaching that bad for Jahmyr Gibbs. Then you go to the next pick, linebacker Jack Campbell. Who's taking Jack Campbell
at 18?
Yeah. Nobody. So once again, the Lions are bidding against themselves. Did they get a quality football player? They absolutely did, but they got him in a place where they could have moved back. They could have stockpiled some more picks, and instead, it seems like their draft room was very straightforward. See guy, get guy, and that's kind of all they were thinking.
Well, two other parts of this though. One, Hendon Hooker at 68. That's
not a bad pick to me.
It's like not a bad pick, but does that send a message to Goff? You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't, because he's, you drafted him with the 68th pick. You're not trying to replace a guy with a third rounder. But
look, buddy, we found you another backup.
But and he's coming in too off an ACL tear. Hendon Hooker's a project, not unlike Anthony Richardson. In fact, he was kind of seen as the poorer version of Anthony Richardson to that degree. High athleticism, high intelligence, big arm, but can you get him to play at the NFL level? That's a guy that's going to be a development guy. That's not to threaten Jared Goff with or send a message in any way.
So what do you think of DeAndre Swift going to the Eagles? I mean, was that all a balance there? Did the Detroit Lions do that right?
I think that is one of the few things I think that they did right. But again, it just seems like such an aggressive move. I really don't think they liked DeAndre Swift is really where it comes down to. And they were trying to do anything to get rid of him, because they showed the reaction to those guys when they got Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. And they were elated. Like I didn't see any other room react that way, where they were over the moon. And I think that they just wanted a guy that could go out there, get them yards, be tough, physical as a runner, and still be healthy. That was a big thing with Swift.
Did you all see the meme when DeAndre Swift ended up with the Eagles from the Lions?
No.
You had a picture of a car speeding down an interstate going extremely fast. DeAndre Swift on his way to Philadelphia.
He couldn't wait.
That's got to be good for him, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles love to run the ball, and they really needed somebody back there, because when your running game has a quarterback like that and a running back like that, good luck. I mean, the rest of the NFC East is going to have their hands full trying to figure out how to stop that.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Will Levis, he to say he slid
dropped like a rock. Yeah,
that's an understatement. But he's worked it out. Feeling like Will Levis showing up where he has showed up with the Titans. I think he might start. I mean, if they're really going to do something with Tannehill, that kid might start.
he might legitimately start. I mean, they've already shopped Tannehill around, so we'll see.
And I'm glad he's in my division.
Is Tannehill mad about this? Doesn't really seem like a Tannehill thing to be upset about this. The idea that he's being shopped. He's a very I control the things that I can control kind of guy. But if they actually do find a trade partner with somebody for Tannehill, then yeah, Will Levis is going to be QB1.
How much money, though, did it cost him to go from the number 4 pick to number 33? Because, if things had gone differently, the Colts would have taken him at number 4. He'd made more money than go second. Is it first round, second round money, or is there different tiers in like 1 through 10?
I mean, yeah, as the draft goes on in the first round, there's going to be a loss of money. So he was already going to lose money going from 1 to say, or potentially 1 to say 25. But being in the second round, I believe, keeps you out of that ability to have that 5th-year extension that teams can pick up, which is where you make the most money in the rookie deal. So he lost millions, like tens of millions.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, he that could have been a potentially, if he was taken in the first round where he was projected to go, that could have been a $20 million 5th-year option, and that's just not going to happen now.
So he's like to his girlfriend, "Hey, we're gonna go to Target now. We're not going to Walmart, but we're not going to Dillard's. We're going to Target."
That wedding in Cancun.
Yeah. Just saying.
Can we just have it at my mom's house?
Mr. Pringle says, listening to Keon, I'm astonished he's not a GM. It's insane. Yeah. Why aren't you a GM?
Oh, I don't think I'd be.
Why don't you apply? You could get all of his jobs.
I mean, well, I don't have any experience scouting anything or anybody. No one's going to hire you straight to be a GM. You've got to have experience, like actually
you're failing all
talent
of us,
evaluating. So
you should know that.
So maybe
Thanks
I should
for letting us down, Keon.
If I
feel very let down.
If I start now as a scout somewhere,
imagine we could all be
then in
well
like
taken care of.
6 years, I might maybe have a shot if somebody really likes me.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a vehicle, that international scout, huh, Randy? Oh, that was something.
Sure is. Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1939 at Comiskey Park, the Chicago White Sox beat the Chicago Cubs 4-1 in an exhibition game to benefit Monty Stratton, former pitcher who lost his leg in an off-season hunting accident. He tried to pitch in the game and received a new car and nearly $30,000 from the contest receipts. Back to me, Jeffrey.
Wow.
I have many questions. Well, I think
goodwill game.
It's answered one question where it says he tried to pitch in the game. So I guess what happened was in 1938, November 27th, Stratton's hunting rabbits. I'm hunting the rabbits. And he fell, accidentally discharging his shotgun, and the pellets got his left leg there, of his right leg. And I guess it messed up the artery so bad. And this is 1938, so technology, right? So they had to chop off his leg. And so he was fitted with a wooden leg. And I guess, he tried to pitch at that special game that was to benefit him. That was like the crowdfunding game for him, basically. But they said, you know what? Maybe he could work as a coach for us. Maybe a batting practice pitcher. So he had a couple of years more of work there. So that was awfully nice of him. He got a brand new car and $30,000.
Absolutely. That's a lot of money back then.
That was probably pre-insurance. You know what I'm saying? State Farm wasn't showing up for
no kidding,
for Monty Stratton on that one. Anyway, you're welcome, Big George. 888-368-1580. Let's check in and see how we are doing. It's a tie for the Rangers and the Devils at the end of the first. And 76ers and Celtics, man, this looks like it's going to be a pretty good series. So if this is any indication, 80-77, and it's in the third quarter with 5 minutes left. Well, Joel Embiid's not there. So, Keon, would the 76ers obliterate the Celtics with Joel Embiid, or, would it be a similar score? I mean, this looks pretty good for the Sixers.
I think it would be kind of a similar score because you'd have to change the way you play. The Sixers are sadly kind of used to this in the playoffs. They get to a certain point in the playoffs and then they don't have Joel Embiid. And then they just kind of have to figure out a way to make it work. And they've been doing it for so long they're competitive without him. I mean, with him there, I feel like you go, okay, we can win this. Whereas without him, it's we might maybe pull it off.
I just want to reiterate how disappointed we are in you, Keon, that you're not a general manager that could go to both jobs.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, look, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize
he
that
wouldn't
was a
hire
thing.
us anyway.
No,
I myself would be an
I think
awful
if he got
general
on a
manager,
GM
so.
job, he'd probably just say,
Who's
on the phone? Who?
Probably turn us over to Heavy Metal Maniacs to sell beer. That's all we would get out of Keon.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know that would
Yeah,
happen.
he would not hook us up. That's for sure. I got a feeling.
I think your feeling's wrong.
Well, we'll never know now because you didn't get around to being a scout and becoming a general manager.
I like
you weren't
radio.
thinking of us. Why aren't you thinking of us more often?
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. We'll be thinking of you tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Go, Sun.